Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, how the heck are you? Happy Friday on the Monty Show. Presented as always by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. Every day I tell you, it's The Advocates. Because you never have to pay The Advocates out of pocket. No. Worry about getting healthy. Worry about getting your job back. Worry about getting your finances right. You don't pay The Advocates unless and until they win your case. So go chat with an attorney right now, online for free, theadvocates.com. A lot to get to today. Coming up in 90 minutes, we will announce the winner of the tickets to see Oregon in the Tortilla Factory, as somebody on, I think, Twitter or Instagram referred to it as yesterday.
Right, the Tortilla Factory.
The Tortilla Factory. We are giving away a pair of tickets to Oregon at Texas Tech on September 9th. I mean, Aaron Wilson, for a guy who's banned from winning this contest, Aaron Wilson has gone all the way out, so we'll have that for you. We'll announce what tickets we're giving away next Friday to wrap up the contest. They are amazing. We'll have that for you in about 90 minutes. But let's get you caught up on the latest news in the ACC, because there's this big discussion about the ACC. And is the situation in the ACC really as bad as people make it out to be? Was talking to somebody about the ACC grant of rights, and I've had this theory for probably a couple of months now. I don't believe the grant of rights is the greatest grant of rights we've ever seen. It's not. Frankly, when you're locked into a contract until 2036, that's going to keep you behind your contenders, the other leaders, and those trying to keep you down financially, that's probably not great. But the grant of rights is a double-edged sword. The ACC grant of rights, while it is long, does give you some stability. In an era of expansion and contraction, it does, by the very nature of its length, give you stability. You know the money you're going to get. You know that you are going to get $30 million. You know if you perform, you're going to get upwards of $40 million. Like, you know the money you're getting. You can plan. You can have stability. Now, is that $50, $70, $100 million per school per season? It's not, and it'll never be. But I think if you are the ACC, how do you not consider what happened to the Pac-12 when we sit here and talk about adding Stanford and Cal, and everybody, Jake, is losing their mind because this grant of rights is the end of the world? Do you agree with me that the ACC grant of rights is not the jail cell that most people make it out to be?
Yeah, I definitely think it has its certain benefits and its certain flaws. Yeah, certainly it provides reliability over the long term. There's no doubt about that. And I think that the only reason we're talking about the ACC grant of rights, generally speaking, is because you have Florida State complaining that they're not making enough money and that they don't have the opportunity to kind of boost that up and kind of grow their, piece of the pie as far as revenue is concerned in the conference. But you notice that the other members are not complaining about the grant of rights. You notice that, while, yeah, there is some wide-ranging agreement that they do wish it was a bit shorter, so then that way they could renegotiate and get more money out of their TV partners, you notice that they're not saying that, the conference is burning down, and the conversation isn't that the conference is, really unhealthy or anything. So I think, yeah, it's a good grant of rights. It is too long, and that does have its certain downsides, but I just think, as far as these, programs like Florida State are concerned, like, I just don't understand why you would sign a grant of rights and then, a few years into it, start complaining about that very same grant of rights. And really, they didn't start complaining until UCF went to the Big 12 and got more money. Because that's really the conversation here, right? ACC schools are getting $30 million a year as a baseline, and you're going to get $6 million in incentive money if you make the college football playoff, and you get $4 million if you make a New Year's Six Bowl that's non-playoff related.
Right.
So it's not like you're not making any money, but you're just not making the money that, the Big Ten and the SEC are making. So look, I get why people are a little frustrated with it. And when I say people, I mean institutions, universities. But at the same time, like, let's put this into perspective. Like, the Pac-12 situation is not going to happen to the ACC for quite some time. That's the positive with the grant of rights.
At least not till 2036.
Yeah, so
right?
like you've got this long run where you're gonna have stability, but at the same time, when that grant of rights does indeed come to expire in 2036, I would guess, and I think it's really difficult to say because it's so far away still, but it'll be really interesting to see how the conference goes about getting a competitive TV offer, because I think from today to 2035, when they would start negotiating, the landscape's going to change drastically. I mean,
I don't think it's a TV offer. I think linear TV, hey, let's throw an antenna up on the roof, that's dead. This idea that you're going to keep paying cable and satellite providers $300-400 a month for TV and internet is ridiculous. That's not the reality anymore. And I think one of the things that the ACC, the shocking reality in the ACC is your situation is not nearly as bad as several members of your conference are making it out to be. And I think one of the real questions in this conference, and I think it's very similar to the Pac-12, are North Carolina and North Carolina State a package deal? I think this is a big, big question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any doubt that they are. I mean, if it came down to brass tacks and North Carolina had a $100 million offer to go to the Big Ten, North Carolina's going to do what it's got to do.
Yeah.
But I think in the grand scheme of things, much like Arizona and Arizona State, I've been told that North Carolina and North Carolina State fully understand that they are a really powerful pair if they stick together. And I think when we start considering who's standing in the way and who the no votes in the ACC are, there's no doubt in my mind that North Carolina and North Carolina State will vote together.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's a yes, but it's been a no, to flip those two to a yes is almost impossible.
Right.
I told you yesterday on the show that Clemson and Florida State and Miami are no's. Now, I've also been told they never really had an official vote. They kind of had a conversation where, and you can call it a straw vote or whatever you want to call it. They kind of had a, hey, North Carolina, what do you feel in North Carolina State? And hey, Miami. And I'm told that those 5 schools in particular are all no's. And you can't have 5. You can have 3 no's. And again, this is why I continue to tell you, we were told for 2 days that there was going to be a vote today, an official vote, an end of the line.
Yeah.
That's not happened. That situation has not developed or played itself out. And I continue to sit here and tell you that the ACC had better come back to reality, because I think this situation where you have the Carolinas, Clemson, and Florida State, and now Miami that are standing in the way of expansion. And the issue is those 5 schools really feel themselves. They really like themselves. And I'm okay with that. I totally get it. The problem is the rest of this conference wants expansion because there is strength in numbers. And if you are Stanford and Cal, you are not going to join this conference only to vote in 2 years to undo the grant of rights.
Right.
That'd be highly unlikely that was the case. So right now, as we sit here, there is no vote. And there is no expansion because I don't know how you're going to flip those 5 schools to approve expansion. So I just don't see a path for Stanford and Cal. And I think it really is this split reality in the ACC where you have these 5 schools who think this is the worst grant of rights ever. And everybody else in the ACC, I think, realizes and kind of sits where I'm at. The grant of rights in the ACC is not nearly as bad as those 5 schools want you to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And, listen, I think if you are Stanford and Cal, you're making the case that, hey, we would have, in the Pac-12, we would love to have a 2036 grant of rights. Now, if we could go back and redo it again, would you put escalators in there? Certainly you would. Would you have an out in the middle? Certainly you would. But the stability and the consistent money, while it is not the highest paying job in the business, it's consistent money and it's stability in the long term. And I just don't see how that's a bad thing in today's college football climate.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. And I think their main challenge and their main hurdle is figuring out, okay, how do we How do we go about, maintaining our relationships with our TV partners and keeping those positive while also, figuring out ways to create new ones with, whether it's, with streaming with Google or Apple or, whatever the case may be. Like, I think you got to maintain the status quo, but also be looking to the future. And so, as part of that process, I do think that, the Clemsons and the Florida States and these teams that, are, I guess, this year nationally regarded as great teams, whether it's Brett McMurphy or just the AP generally speaking, like, these teams, you got to put these teams in the college football playoff national championship game. If you don't win the national championship, it is what it is. But I just think that, it's not, because when you expand the college football playoff, it puts less of a priority and less of a value on just getting in, right? It used to be, hey, dude, it's only 4 teams, so if you're in that thing, that's a hell of a year, man. But
but I think these 5 schools in the ACC recognize that if Stanford and Cal get in, their hopes of getting out are over. Mm-hmm. I think Florida State, Clemson, the Carolinas, and Miami believe that they are the best of the best. And are they? I don't know. I certainly do not believe right now that Florida State, North Carolina, and let's just talk football then. Clemson, national championship contender every year. Florida State, no. North Carolina State, Miami, no. Now, you want to talk basketball? That's a totally different thing. By the way, has anybody asked Duke where they are on this? Because I think Duke is arguably one of the most powerful brands in the conference.
Yeah.
I think Duke is a far better brand than Florida State. I think Duke is a far better brand than North Carolina State. I think Duke is 3, 4, 5 times the national brand that Miami is.
Right.
Clemson, it's a different situation. Clemson's a football powerhouse. Duke is a basketball powerhouse. I happen to think that Duke is a really good, profitable, powerful brand. You want to be in business with Duke. And I'm curious where some of the very quiet voices, including Miami, by the way, because it's not like Miami's been on everybody's phone and in there creeping into DMs trying to let their opinions be known. But I think Miami's really interesting here. I think Duke's really interesting here. And I think the rest of this conference largely is just along for the ride.
Yeah, and I think the unfortunate part about that is, like you were just saying, it leaves Stanford and Cal and the rest of the pack out to dry, because I just don't think that you're going to get to a place where you can add schools even if you wanted to. And so it brings me right back to, okay, well, Stanford said they're not going to go to the Mountain West, so I guess Independence it is, right? Because I just don't know where else you go. And I don't know what today's Independence looks like on the heels of BYU getting into the Big 12, because Notre Dame, everyone's like, oh, well, Notre Dame's independent. Well, Notre Dame's independent in one sport, right? Like, they're not truly all in independent, and I think that that's a very different thing. So we worry, or maybe not worry, but we feel like, hey, Notre Dame at some point is going to get squeezed into a conference because scheduling is going to dry up with these super conferences merging. And so
how could it not?
Yeah, how could it not? And so I wonder, if you're Stanford, what's the play? I mean, honestly, like, what are Stanford's best options? Because I look at it and I say, okay, you got a huge decision in this school's history to make right here. Like, if you're, on one hand, you could stay status quo, you could stay in just an educational powerhouse, run a good athletic department, use the endowment money, and be independent. You could do that. You could absolutely do that, and I think they'd be fine. But then on the other hand, it's like, okay, well, 5 years from now, if we're still running around in independence, what does that mean for our institution? Because $1 billion might be a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that lasts forever. That doesn't mean that you want to do that forever. So I
would agree with
choice.
that. I would agree. You don't want to do anything forever in this day and age, right? There's nothing that's forever, and I think it is a difficult choice.
Yeah.
I think you're exactly right, because I don't know that there is a plentiful financial decision to be made here. The Stanford's not getting into the Big Ten right now. Mm-hmm. You're not. And I continue, I guess, to be the only one that believes this, because all I ever hear about is, how, oh my God, oh man, we have got to get to 20 teams. And
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I'm just going to sit here every day and tell you 20 teams in a conference is an absolute pain in the ass. Like, just the idea of scheduling 20 sports teams is impossible. Like, we talked about this with the AAC yesterday, and all their, the technical term is affiliate schools. But the issue is, if you're an affiliate school with Stanford and Cal in a new Pac-12, who's really winning there? Mm-hmm. Let's say, the AAC, and this is probably a conversation we need to have, but I continue to tell you the AAC is not an option for this Pac-4 because there's no affiliation or relationship in that league that makes you a ton of money.
Yeah.
Stanford makes you money. Well, having a relationship with Stanford makes you money.
Well, and again, Stanford has the parachute, right? And I think it's a super important point with this. Like, when we talk about the AAC, or we talk about the Mountain West, or we talk about any other, G5 or just sub P5 conference. Dude, Stanford has the money to do basically whatever they want to do. Now, they don't want to do that, again, for 10 years at a time, but yeah, they got the goods to be fine for 5-7 years. They're fine. But Washington State doesn't have the goods, right? I don't think Oregon State's got the goods. Cal definitely doesn't have the goods that way.
Does Florida State have the goods?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Because you're in a situation now where if you're Miami, and to a much larger extent if you're Florida State, you're not able to compete with Florida financially now.
No.
Because Florida's in the SEC. Florida's making exponentially more money than you are. At least $20 million a year. At least $20 million a year more, right, in their new TV deal. So if you're Florida State, that's going to hurt you in a lot of different ways. It's going to hurt you in recruiting. I think it's probably going to hurt you in brand and in NIL. I think this all becomes a much more focused problem for Florida State. Clemson, I don't know that Clemson cares about necessarily how much money Florida's making. Mm-hmm. I think Clemson believes they're the breadwinner in this conference, so they should be making more money than everybody else in the conference.
Right.
But you're lying in the bed that you made. So I understand. And again, if we're talking about somebody like Stanford and Cal, what does somebody in Clemson want to do business? Why would they want to do business with Stanford and Cal?
Yeah, and that's the question I think we just don't have an answer to.
Why, if you're Florida State, do you want to bring in Stanford and Cal? They're only going to add to your financial deficit in a lot of different ways, because now you're never getting out of that conference. You're never breaking that grant of rights. Mm-hmm. You're just like, all it's doing is making your life more difficult. All of this to say there's no solution. Man, there's no solution for the ACC, which is why I say, and why the title of the show today is, here's the shocking reality. You're not in this terrible situation that you're trying to make it out to be.
Right.
You have to find new revenue streams.
Yep.
You have to sell more tickets, more hot dogs, more beer. It's why I continue to say this absolute stupidity and hypocrisy of, well, we can't sell beer on college campuses. These young men are impressionable. Kiss my ass. You don't think they're seeing beer sales at the liquor store or at the Quick Mart or at the Publix?
Kiss my butt.
Like, what virtuoso are you trying to be?
Well, and that goes right in line with their thinking. I mean, again, and I don't mean to be repetitive with this, but remember why we're even talking about this. We're not talking about this because the ACC is behind the Big Ten and the SEC in TV revenue. That's not why we're talking about this. We're talking about this because FSU is pissed that UCF got into the Big 12 and is now making more money, $1.7 million more than they are on a baseline. And this is ballooned into a whole thing that's now turned into an expansion conversation because the Pac-12 couldn't figure itself out. So I just think that this whole situation reeks and I love all the people who criticized, Utah and Stanford and all these Pac-12 schools for being academic snobs and pretentious and, hey, they think they are better than everyone else in the country. What the hell is Florida State doing? What are the ACC schools doing? Because as far as I see it, these 5 schools are saying, hey, we're better than everyone else in the conference and we deserve more money.
There's no question about that.
So why are we not sitting here saying, why is anyone feeling sorry for these ACC schools? Because I agree, you're getting paid enough money to be in a good spot, to be comfortable. You've got reliability long term. I agree, the unknown causes some anxiety about, hey, what does the landscape look like 10 years from now? But the reality is, what's your ace in the hole? Winning. Win on the football field, and you don't have to worry about the future. If you win, you'll get into a super conference.
But are you really in a bad spot if you're Florida State?
I think there's potential that the ACC could be in a bad spot when their grant of rights gets done because all the other conferences are going to renegotiate again.
I agree.
And so that's what I think these schools are trying to get ahead of. And it's like, dude, I get that you're trying to get ahead of that, but you're going about it the complete wrong way. Like, imagine if Florida State had said, hey, so guys, look at this. These conferences are going to all renegotiate another round of TV deals before we can. We have to fix
specifically, and again, if we're talking brass tacks here, specifically, the Big 12 is going to run through this upcoming TV deal and renegotiate another one before the ACC grant of right expires.
Yeah,
the Big 12 is who the ACC should be worried about, because the Big 12 is going to do to the ACC what they did to the Pac-12. They're going to leave the ACC looking in the rearview mirror, because you can't tell me that Brett Yormark is not going to continue to break new territories, like Mexico. Like, you can't tell me he's not going to try and conquer foreign lands. He is. You can't tell me that the Big 12 isn't going to be a leader on the stream side of things.
Yeah,
because we're not talking about 5 years. And then all of a sudden, we'll all worry about streaming then. Streaming's here now. ESPN is going directly to the consumer. ESPN's not worried about cord cutting anymore. They're worried about conversion to the streaming product. This is that Michael Crow comment that we saw the other day, or yesterday, I guess it was, where Michael Crow's talking about this new digital world. No, dude, that was 15 years ago. The new digital world is 15 years old. And you're either going to be in Michael Crow's shoes 15 years late, or you're going to be Brett Yormark well ahead of the curve against your opponent. That's what the ACC should be worried about. The ACC shouldn't be worried about Florida versus Florida State.
Yeah.
The ACC shouldn't be worried about, hey, well, what's the SEC doing and what's the Big Ten doing? Why do you care? Because you're not, I don't know how to break this to you. You're not competing with the Big Ten and the SEC.
No.
The Southeast Conference is so far ahead of you, you can't see their taillights in the distance.
No.
What you don't understand is the Big 12 is right next to you. They're not behind you trying to catch you. The Big 12 is right next to you. And if this Mexico deal plays the way we all think this Mexico deal is going to play, they're going to go zooming past you. Because now it's not just Mexico. They're already doing Rucker Park. They're already at AT&T Stadium in Tarrant County. They're next to you. They're right here. You can't tell me that you believe these 5 universities that are no votes right now for expansion care about your league, because they don't care. I think if you polled the Carolinas, Clemson, Florida State, Miami, I think they would be indifferent. If the ACC died today, they would be happy. They would ask when the parade is.
Facts.
They would. They don't care about your conference. Florida State's not focused on you. They're focused on Florida.
When is parade?
Right? They want to make more money than Florida. And I understand that. And Miami wants to make more money than Florida and Florida State and UCF and Florida Atlantic, who went too deep into the tournament last year. Like, your constituents don't care about you. And it's really what this is with Florida State. And maybe I'm just being an asshole about this, but what I think it is with Florida State, This is San Diego State all over again. They're trying, in my opinion, to torpedo you. They want to cut you off at the knees. And if you continue to allow Florida State to just keep pushing you, eventually they're going to knock your ass over. And they're going to step over you. And they're going to wind up in the Big Ten or the SEC. Well, I think that'd be a stretch because Florida's never going to allow them in the SEC.
Yeah.
Which is something somebody needs to let Florida State know, by the way, you're not the bad MFers you say you are. Because where are you going to go, by the way? You're this great brand, Florida State.
Right.
And I'm talking just about Florida State. You're this great brand. Okay, cool. You make more money than everybody. Okay, cool. How come people aren't beating down your door to add you to the Big Ten? How come nobody's beating down your door to add you to the SEC? How come nobody's beating down your door to get you into the Big 12? Oh, that's right, because everybody knows you're an asshole and nobody wants to hang out with you. Nobody's inviting you to their parties and nobody's showing up to your party.
That's right, T.
Florida State, the dirty truth is you don't have anywhere to go. Now, if you're Clemson, if you're North Carolina, now, and frankly, in the Carolinas, NC State, in my opinion, dude, you need to be shining North Carolina's Carolina blue shoes. Keep that patent leather nice and shiny.
Right.
Because NC State, in my opinion, outside of the state and maybe the region, is not a national brand. North Carolina, Duke, I can tell you today, if it was available to them, the Big Ten would add North Carolina today. No doubt about it. If the Big Ten really wanted to, they could go to 20 and they could add Notre Dame and they could add North Carolina.
Yeah.
They would do that today. Notice they're not adding Stanford and Cal. Had their opportunity to do that. Did they do that? No. They didn't, because the pain in the ass that 20 teams isn't worth Stanford and Cal.
Agreed.
I'm tired of and this is where, and apparently I pulled my own ripcord, and now I'm just running, but I'm tired of hearing about how great Florida State is, and we're this and we're that, then how come nobody's asking you to prom?
That's what I said yesterday. You got to justify your value. You're not good at what you do. You're not good at what you do. I mean, if you got to try and sell yourself, you're not good at what you do.
You're not a 6-foot blonde.
Yeah, so UNC doesn't have to justify itself. Duke does not have to justify
You're like
itself.
5'5", 300 pounds, bro.
Yeah.
You need to get that cardio in. Mix in a salad, Florida State. Improve your look and your brand. Okay, I feel better now.
Good. Excellent.
I don't know what happened. Admittedly, I think Jake poisoned my lunch today because that was over the top. So Why wouldn't we take a buck shot right now from Bucked Up, the official energy provider of the Monty Show? I see we are well over 1,000 comments today already. God bless you. I love you all. You're up next after I tell you about my good friends at Bucked Up. They want to send you, well, it's over now because I got to tell you, there's one guy.
Not named Aaron.
No, Aaron Wilson's not winning the tickets today.
Nope, somebody else.
And Aaron,
in opposition.
There's only 59 minutes to go. But somebody take the sharp objects away from Aaron, because the late entry into this contest, dude.
It's gas. It's no Florida State, but it'll do.
You guys, hit a buckshot right now, buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off your purchase. I'm about to drink 200 milligrams of caffeine. And I'm about to get brain food right here in this here little buckshot. And what it's going to do is power me through the next 2.5 hours, just like you. Do you have that report? Do you have that pivot table? Do you have that? You got to write a report. You got to make a sales call. It's a huge sales call. This is a sales call that could put you over the top for the month, right? We've got 12 days to go in the month. Month-end close is coming. You need a big deal? Hit a buckshot. In a buckshot, think more clearly, close more deals, have more energy. You guys, I shot a great round of golf this morning. No. What'd you shoot today? You shot a 40. What'd I shoot today?
I don't know. You were keeping score.
Pimp's going pimp. 34. Shot a 34 on the front. We only played 9 this morning. Shot a 34. Like I said, why? Because it's 6 a.m. this morning. I was a little tired. What'd I do? I popped a buckshot. Had a great range session. Got right out on the course. Bing, bing, bing. Putter was going in. Boom, boom, boom. And I attribute it to buckshot. Go home. Hadn't had any breakfast. Go home after my round of golf. Lost another half a pound. Dude, I'm telling you, Bucked Up Energy is where it's at. I use their collagen peptide, their whey protein, their energy drinks, and I use their buckshot, and it's fantastic. Buckedup.com. Make sure that you use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com. Let's get your comments in here as people. Real quick, and I'm not trying to be a jerk.
It's Friday. You can be a jerk.
Do not DM me your take. I'm not reading it on the show. I mean, Stop
we're
doing
literally
that.
doing a show. Like, comment your take.
You guys.
Like, bro.
Stop doing that. Mooncat, a West Virginia fan, for $5. The ACC needs to stop crying. They have always traded exposure for money. They were excited at first for their network. Are they going down the same road as the Pac?
Stop crying like a little girl.
I think it's a really good question. And I again, though, and I am no ACC expert, but the people I talk to are ACC experts. And I don't think this is a conference-wide problem.
It's not a conference-wide problem, but you know what is a conference-wide problem? The idea that you have a group of 5 schools.
Group of 5.
Group of 5.
Not that group of 5.
Not the different group of 5. You have 5 schools here inside the conference that are a pain in your ass. Now, luckily for the conference, the rest of the schools are cool, right? So you currently, the schools that support the conference are outnumbering the red asses in the conference, if you will. The difference between that and the Pac-12 is the Pac-12 was built on a house of cards, man. The Pac-12 was built on people playing two-face,
practices.
Dude. Yeah, but poor business practices combined with people going to meetings saying, "Oh yeah, we're all on the same page," and then going out and having conversations with other conferences. I mean, that's the genesis of the Pac-12.
That's true.
Dying.
Carol Folt at USC.
Right. So I look at what Carol Folt did at USC, and I say, we're not there in the ACC yet.
But I also want to be careful on this with the Pac-12. Carol Folt at USC is not the reason that the Pac-12 collapsed. Larry Scott and George Kliavkoff are that reason. Kirk Schultz is that reason.
Yeah.
That's why the conference collapsed. Carol Folt did what was best for USC. There's just no doubt about that.
Pack this thing up. We're out of here.
There's just no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. And the issue isn't that USC and UCLA left. The issue isn't that Texas and Oklahoma left. The issue would not be that Clemson and Florida State left. The issue is, as it is in the Pac-12 and as it is in the Big 12, what happens when Oklahoma and Texas leave? What did Bob Bowlesby do? Did he roll up on the floor in the fetal position and just crap himself for a couple of years? No, he didn't. He went and he added really good partners. BYU, UCF, Cincinnati, Houston.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Absolutely saved the conference. Now, it didn't hurt that Carol Folt raised a bird to the rest of the Pac-12 and said, no, I don't want to add these teams in the Big 12 and I'm going to the Big 10. That helped. But Bob Bowlesby made pragmatic business decisions. George Kliavkoff did not.
Facts.
He got arrogant.
Yeah.
He got egotistical, and it killed him.
Yeah.
100%. It killed him. But I'm telling you, don't let the narrative on the ACC seep in that somehow this is a conference full of felons and they're all schemers. They're not. It really is Florida State. Florida State, I believe, started a narrative that fired up Clemson, and then it just kind of trickled down. This is how it happens.
Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
One bad apple spoils the bunch. And now we've got five universities in this conference that are no votes on expansion.
Yeah.
So I don't believe this weekend we'll get expansion.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Lance Johnson for $2. If Stanford and Cal get in, it will be for free. It will not be for free.
No.
Something else. And again, Lance, I don't know if you're new to the show or I will, again, just say it over and over and over again. Never, not one time has Stanford agreed to go to the ACC for free.
No.
They've never, ever said they would go for free. They have talked $10 to $15 million for the first 3 years. They've never at any time has Stanford or Cal, for that matter, because Cal cannot do that deal.
Right.
Cal is essentially bankrupt in athletics. They cannot do that deal. They've talked about taking $10 to $15 million for the first 3 years. What you're doing is conflating SMU and Stanford and Cal, and we're just all going to work for free. SMU in its thirst, and they are thirsty.
Well, SMU's a P5, aren't they?
No.
Oh, that's right.
And they don't deliver Dallas or Texas or wins. But they have all this money. They're all hat and no cattle, but that's
these
fine.
oil barrels.
That's fine. SMU has said we'll come into the ACC for free for 5 years because they have a. And now I love how all the SMU fans are like, it's not boosters or donors, it's an endowment. We're just like Stanford. Fuck out of here. You are not.
You're not like Stanford in any way.
My fucking
You
ass.
have donors and collectives, and yes, they are well-heeled. But stop trying to tell me like SMU fan in my DMs yesterday, we're just like Stanford. No,
Don't
you're
lie
not.
to me.
You're the problem is you're not, though.
Yeah.
You're not because you don't have what Stanford has, and you never will. You never will.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
SMU fan, God bless you. I love you. You are passionate, and you love your Stangs. But if I hear another SMU fan, hey man,
Guys.
I was thinking about it while I was
Hey, guys.
while I was drilling for oil yesterday out in the back.
You gotta get stroked.
I was thinking about the fact that we're just like Stanford.
No, sir.
No,
You are not.
No, you're not.
Nice
One
try.
more time. Marlon Shaw, my dude, what's up? If Yormark plays it right, he could potentially renegotiate twice before the ACC. Truth. And I if I am the Big 12, I am pushing and pushing and pushing as hard as I can. As hard as I can to win a national championship in the Big 12.
Yeah.
As I am, and we've heard this about Brett Yormark. Brett Yormark's not the guy that's like, okay, I'm your business manager. No. Brett Yormark wants people to win now because he knows there's college football playoff money and there's NCAA tournament money, no doubt about that. But you know what else he knows? And I'll give you some credit for once.
Thanks.
Even though you're a back to front wiper.
That's right, T.
Which is fine. It's not. It's terrible. But my point is, Jake, stop it. My point is that Jake's been running this narrative out there. Well, Stanford, they're devalued because they haven't won in like 54 years. I think when you can say, hey, TCU, hey, Texas Tech, you guys remember in 2023 when everybody was talking about OU and Texas were going to win on the way out the door, and Texas Tech and that legend Joey McGuire swept in and won the conference, and then they shocked the world and won the national championship of college football. That's what this conference needs right now.
Hey, you guys remember Florida State and
Yeah, didn't they fire Mike Norvell in 2024?
Yeah, that's stupid.
I'm pretty sure.
jackass.
You got to win. And I think the Big 12 is well aware of that. I think the Big 12 is aware of that.
Yeah.
And I think this ACC thing, and Marlon, I think this is a really good point. The ACC is in this really pivotal moment in time. And again, for the record, just remember at 4:41 Central Time, I said this. On August 18th, 2023. I do not believe at this moment in time the ACC will expand. I don't see an avenue to flip 2 votes here.
Yeah.
I do not. Because I don't think the Carolinas are flipping, Clemson and Florida State are not flipping, and I don't think Miami's going to flip. That's 5. So I don't see it happening. But they quite literally are at a moment where their future is going to be defined right now. Because they can't help themselves, which is what they don't realize. The ACC can't help themselves because the ultimate truth is, as men, we are carnivores. And right now, Brett Yormark in the Big 12, dude, rock hard abs like that woman is. Look at the curves on her.
Stay hard.
Who says no? Who says no? Nobody's going to say no to the Big 12 right now. The Big 10 had better hope that a year from now USC doesn't win that conference. Because
the USC.
I'm warning you that USC is going to do one of two things. They are going to go in there and they are going to struggle for 2-3 years. I doubt that. Or they're going to go into the Big Ten with Oregon and Washington, and all of a sudden that's going to become the Pacific Big Ten.
I'm for real.
Because I just don't believe that Penn State, James Franklin, Coach of the Year, bro, fuck off. What has Penn State done? Somebody explain to me, what has Penn State done? Are you going to lose to Michigan and Ohio State every year? Is that your goal? Apparently it is, because you're awfully good at that. My point is, if Oregon or Washington, because I think Washington, they're going to shock some people this year, because nobody wants to talk about Washington.
Dark horse college football playoff team.
And the other thing that nobody's talking about, who's got the best football league in the country right now?
Pac-12.
You want to make a bet? I think I can make a pretty damn good argument. The Pac-12, they certainly have the best crop of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But so do you think Oregon and Washington, Oregon and Washington, UCLA and USC are going to have trouble recruiting over the next 12 months?
Oh, no. I want to say I saw a graph that said that USC's got the number 1 NIL program right now.
Well, that's funny. Their conference is collapsing. How is that possible?
Oh, that's right. Because Lincoln Riley's a hop around different conference specialist, and he's going into the Big Ten.
Riley sucks.
And now Caleb is going to be another Heisman winner out of the dead conference.
That's cool. You score all those points, but you can't stop anybody.
Next year, he's going to go out. He's going to screw with Ryan Day and khakis up at Michigan. He's going to make a Heisman Trophy winner, and then the Big Ten fans are going to be like,
no, wait.
Dude?
You know what's going to happen then? Jake's still not going to say anything nice about Lincoln Riley.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Which is amazing to me. But if Oregon, Washington, or USC, and hell, Chip Kelly, he's never winning the Big Ten. But let's say UCLA somehow.
DTR's not there anymore, okay?
If they go into that Big Ten and they win, dude, how exposed are Ohio State and Michigan? I think it's massively exposed.
Big time.
Massively exposed.
Well, and we haven't even mentioned Nebraska yet. Does Nebraska make a comeback?
I believe in Matt Rule and Trev Alberts. But my point is, the Big Ten's weak.
Yeah.
The Big Ten is not a power conference. The two best conferences in the country right now today for football are the SEC and the Big 12, and I will fight you that the Pac-12 belongs in that conversation, because they do until they're dead, which is 11 months from now. But
It's a Big 12!
I'm telling you, a year from now, I think the Big 12 has a chance to be the best all-around athletic conference in the country.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Yeah.
Bar none. Crab cakes in football. Hell yeah. If Big becomes available, take Miami over FSU. But
why? I mean, obviously the basketball program is good at Miami.
The question that I have is, who's the first one to go to 20? Honest to God, because this is not a bad question, especially because you paid me $2 to say it.
How about that?
You know. Here's my question. Who's the first conference in the country to go to 20?
Big Ten.
So if you're going to go to 20, are you doing it with Miami?
No.
And
No.
no.
Oh.
You're only going, in my opinion, the Big Ten only goes to 20 if they can get Notre Dame and North Carolina.
Yeah, and I think that there's a big time waiting game happening now. We're in the Cold War of expansion, if you will, where the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the SEC are sitting around, and really it's the SEC and the Big Ten are sitting around here waiting for someone to expand to 20 but do it in the wrong way, so then they can jump on that other team that should have been added in the first place. And so the question for me is, hey, who's going to be the one that stops being patient? Because Brett Yormark's proven to be incredibly patient, right? Greg Sankey, I don't know how patient he is. He may understand his conference's value, but when it really comes down to it, because the SEC hasn't been in the middle of expansion talks yet, we haven't seen Greg Sankey really under any type of pressure yet. So I don't know what kind of guy he is when it's like, hey, you got to go out and find a way to get UNC, or you got to go out and, raid the ACC, let's say. Like, what does that look like? I think that's a fascinating question.
But I also don't think that Greg Sankey and the SEC are sitting there resting on their laurels. I think they know what's coming. I think Greg and the SEC are not, however, in a position where they control the direction of college football.
Yeah.
And I think because of the incompetence of the Pac-12 and the savvy of Bob Bowlesby, the former Big 12 commissioner, and now Brett Yormark.
Yeah.
That's changed. And my question is, what does Tony Petitti and the Big Ten do to bounce back? Well, you just added 4 really premium brands in USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington. That's a hell of a bounce back.
Yeah.
And the difference with the Big Ten is they have room to move.
Well, and
to
it feels, 20. Dude, and I think if I'm the SEC, the thing I'm worried about is kind of what you were getting at with the Pac-12 schools coming into the Big Ten and having a lot of success. Like, you look at, hey, if you just look at it by conference, obviously the college football playoff has been dominated by the SEC and the Big Ten. But now I look at it and I'm like, okay, I can't really make the case that the SEC's got the better chance to win now, because I feel pretty good about, at a minimum, SC and Washington in the near term coming in and being a problem in the Big Ten.
Well, but this is also the question, and now we're opening up a whole can of whoop-ass, but why would they ever go to 16 or 20 in the playoff?
Yeah, I don't know that you should go to 16. I think 12 is fine.
Right, but it expands access to power.
Yeah.
And why would you expand access to power?
Yeah.
You're not going to do that if you're Greg Sankey. You're not going to do that if you're Tony Petitti.
4 was too little. We needed more than 4, but I agree with you. I don't think we need more than 12.
12 is just fine.
Yeah, 12 is fine.
And you can have at large, and if you want to throw the G5s a bone, cool.
Yeah.
But access to power is something that the SEC and the Big 12 and the Big 10 should not ever give up.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway. Dax Johnson, what's up, Dax?
Johnson.
Hey, homies, keep up the good work. Go BYU, baby.
Yeah, what you been up to, dude? I haven't heard your name in the program in a minute.
Yeah, good to see you, Dax.
Yeah.
Dax is a new member of the show.
Oh,
hello, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Go, baby.
Love that, Dax. Appreciate you. Net neutrality for $2 says Stanford needs to win more often. Why not the Mountain West Conference?
Because I just think it's such a step down. And again, it's this whole concept of the endowment, right? I mean, you're literally talking about a school that's got $1 billion sitting in a bank account ready to go for whatever they need in athletics. Like, dude, you're not, like, do you understand? Like, I'm not a math major, but if your athletic program is costing you, what, a couple $100 million a year, and you're making however much they're making on that, like, you're fine.
Yeah.
You probably got, I mean, I hesitate to say that they'd want to be independent for more than 5 years, but you probably got an easy 5 to 7 years just chilling.
I think easy.
You know what I mean? Like,
Easy.
they're comfortable. So why not the Mountain West? Because why would you take $4 million? You're talking about taking $4 million.
But again, the best analogy I've heard on this, and I want to say that it was Cowherd who said something, or maybe it was Rome. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But one of them was, somebody was saying,
Cow turd.
bullets won't kill you until they're fired, but the fear of death is what's intimidating.
Yeah.
And to me, if you're Stanford right now, because of your academic prowess and the revenue stream that academics are to you, people want to be in business with you. If you step down to the Mountain West athletically, I think it puts a little tarnish on the brand.
Yeah.
People are no longer in fear of you.
Well, it's like this concept of respecting the path you take. I mean, independence is obviously a more difficult path than going to the Mountain West, but it garners you a lot more respect. I mean, if 3 years from now, when the Mountain West TV deal is up and Stanford's a free agent again, they can come back around this thing and say, hey, Big Ten, hey, I guess Big 12, even though I don't feel like they're a Big 12 school, hey, dude, we've been independent, we've been independent the last 3 years, or we've been in the Mountain West the last 3 years. I feel like those conferences would respect the independent grind more because you got to make your own schedule. I mean, dude, it's like what we always say, dude. Tom Homo pulled a rabbit out of his hat for
every game,
for
every
how
year.
long, dude? Like,
10
the guy is
years.
a magician. Like, it's ridiculous what they were able to build to, and then they get rewarded with the Big 12. So I'm not saying that's the path Stanford needs to take, but I do think there's a certain respect factor in the idea that, hey, like, you guys, your conference got raided, it burned to the ground, but you didn't panic. You didn't just run over to the Mountain West, and leave the P5 system because you didn't have anywhere to go. You went independent, you made a good schedule, you kept your money right, and now we can talk about being in business together because our TV deal is up. That's what I think Stanford's got to consider.
All right, Lonnie Goodman for $5 says that Stanford refuses the Mountain West Conference. They're even less of a fit for the ACC. I've never thought Stanford or Cal was a fit in the ACC.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think the thing that's made the most sense, one of our sources said to us, the politics of the ACC members would never allow them to vote yes on Stanford and Cal.
Yeah.
Would never.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best points I've ever heard of.
No smoke.
Domer Wap for $2.
Domer.
Jake, great monologue. Excellent points.
Thanks, Domer. I'll work on getting my baby seat.
Yeah. Booster seat. Thank you.
Oh, booster seat. My bad.
Big Bad Brass Bulls.
Bulls.
For $5.
Hello, Bulls.
This season, BYU wins the Big 12, goes to the college football playoffs, and wins the Natty. Wait, damn. These monkeys keep flying out of my butt.
Yeah, seriously, bro. You need to chill out with all that, bro.
It's going to be a few years for BYU. Lonnie Goodman for $2. Lincoln Riley won't be at SC after this year. Why would he leave?
Why? Yeah.
USC?
Why would you leave USC?
There's not a better job
Bro,
when you're winning.
Has he not been given the job of his career on a silver platter? I mean, not only like USC in the Pac-12 is a great opportunity. Just before all this happened, like, hey, Lincoln, we're USC, we're in the Pac-12, come be our coach. Okay, great. I'll bring Caleb, bring the boys, we'll do some winning. That's what happened, and then it turned into a whole other thing.
Now, wait. On the way to you, Caleb is going to paint his nails. I hope that's okay. And he's going to actually paint insults departed at you on. Does he do that again this year?
Yeah.
Caleb Williams paints insults on his nails to the team that they're playing.
Okay, fuck you. How's that?
Dude, why? And Donuts, a member of the show for 4 months.
Let's go, baby.
Shot a 34 this morning in Donuts. Thank you for the golf money. You respect the winners. Yes, you do. Winning brings you respect, there's no doubt.
This room full of winners.
Winners here. It's who you're going to be sitting next to. The Wolf of Wall Street's amazing. Lance Johnson for $5. Your mark is sitting back and waiting for new deals separating football and basketball. Man, I'm glad you said that. A huge brawl in the comments section last night about, and I love the fact that I cannot wait till in about, I don't know, an hour and a half, we're going to talk about this Elon blocking on Twitter thing.
So dumb.
The brawl that happened in the comments section last night about how nobody gives a damn about college basketball, that football's where it's at. And I read that and I'm like, nah, I'm not getting involved in this. I woke up this morning and there was like a string of 100 comments. And I'm reading through it and I went to refresh it and it disappeared because you wouldn't believe how many people are like, F you, no, F you, your mom's a hoe. Like just getting personal with each other over whether or not college basketball is a legitimate revenue stream.
I'll drop that motherfucker.
You guys, college basketball is a hugely important revenue stream.
Yeah, it is.
And I think the Big 12 right now is building the mold for this. Right now, they are quite literally crafting the mold for how to make money on college basketball. And I think Brett Yormark with his Rucker Park agreement, where they're doing clinics and teaching kids in New York City, the Big 12.
It's the Big 12!
This ain't intramurals. The Big
Don't
12.
play intramurals, brother.
They're sending their coaches and players to Rucker Park, and they're doing clinics and working with kids and forming relationships. Do you think they're doing that out of the goodness of their heart? Well, partly, but they're doing it because it's a revenue stream.
Yeah.
They want to be involved with Rucker Park, and they want the recruiting foothold. Why didn't they add UConn? Because they don't need UConn. They already have the best basketball brand in the country.
Bro, you're talking about a guy in Brett Yormark who spent 14 years with the Nets, dude. The Brooklyn Nets, dude. So, you know, the guy just understands, man, how to create opportunities for himself and his partners where they can make money, because that's all that matters. What is the great ace in the hole in college football, college athletic expansion / realignment? Money. If you are a program or a conference that maybe isn't winning national championships, but you're making above board money, you're going to be fine, right? Because ultimately, that's who are we describing with that? We're describing the Pac-12, right? So they had a good conference, but they weren't making money. Winning or not winning was not a problem for the Pac-12. They were relevant enough. They were a good football conference. Like, it was fine. Basketball needs some love, but it was fine. Money is what killed them. And so I think what Brett's trying to do is saying, okay, I want to win in football, but I also want to win in basketball, and I want to make as much freaking money as possible for this conference because I know that that's an insurance plan.
Like, what happened to you today?
I don't know.
Like, actually making good,
I
solid,
went home last night and
formulated points.
Dude, I went home and I watched the Tim Tebow hype video, and so today I'm making better. I'm making better points today. I almost considered buying Tim Tebow's blood red stained jersey to wear on the show today.
You guys, if you missed the show yesterday, we had a Pier 6 brawl over whether or not Tim Tebow, God bless, is the best quarterback in the history of college football.
God bless.
And again, go look in the comments section. These idiots didn't get banned. But like, there are people like, he sucked at Florida. I'm like, dude, you can say a lot of things about Tim Tebow. Oh, here we go. Hit me over the head with a Bible, which is what somebody said.
God bless.
All that's true. You can never say Tim Tebow sucked at Florida. But it's amazing how pissed off people got because I said he's the greatest college football player ever. No, he's not. Okay. It's okay. Who hurt you, sir? Like, so many people got so upset over that.
Pissed.
Joseph Luarez gives us $2. Thank you very much. Tom Dean, one of the guys who said,
Tom Dean.
just because you win a championship doesn't make you great. Tom Dean compared Tim Tebow to Joakim Noah. It was like, well, Joakim has championships in college basketball.
Hey, Joakim has championships in college, and he sucked in the NBA.
Nobody ever said Joakim Noah was the best college basketball player ever. I am not alone in believing that Tim Tebow is the best college football player ever. Tom gives us $2. 16 is perfect. 3 rival plus 6 plus 6. Okay.
Okay, 7 plus A equals X.
The math formulas and
stuff.
Triangulation.
Quadratic equations and the vernal equinox.
Yeah. Joseph Luera is $2. Cal, Washington State, Oregon State to the Mountain West or AAC. 2 minutes from now, we are going to debate AAC versus the Mountain West Conference. But we remind you that Papa Murphy's Pizza is the official pizza of the Monty Show.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do calzones.
Papa Murphy's does calzones?
Oh, I think you mean I do the calzones.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with fresh ingredients and hand-shredded cheese tucked in a scratch-made dough.
That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
You don't forget the calzones.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Papa Murphy's Pizza, the official pizza of the Monty Show. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 when you download the Papa Murphy's mobile app. There's never a bad time to get Papa Murphy's Pizza, the calzones, the marinara meatballs, the take and bake chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, order it in the app. You can order it at 4 in the afternoon for 7 o'clock pickup or 2 in the morning for 7 p.m. pickup. It'll be on the to-go rack, ready to go. You're in, you're out. The thing I love about Papa Murphy's is it's faster than delivery, and the ingredients are fresher and better. You get a better pizza at a much better price from Papa Murphy's Pizza. Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. 30 minutes from now, we will tell you who's going to see Oregon and Texas Tech. And I think it's a stunning upset. I think it's a stunning upset who the winner is going to be. You guys will be stunned. We will show you the video. It is a stunning upset.
It really is, though.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. Thanks to our friends at Bucked Up Energy for producing that segment for us. This hour of the show, hour number 2 of the show, is presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. Did you guys make $1,000 today at work? Oh, you didn't. TryDayTrading.com. Do you hate your boss? Are you tired that they're making you go back into the office? Do you hate your commute? Do you wish you could go on that vacation? Do you want that Porsche? You can get all that by going to TryDayTrading.com. And if I said to you, hey, I'll show you the rest of your life for $10, would you do it? Of course you would. $10 30-day trial membership, TryDayTrading.com. The best way to make $1,000 a day. Work for yourself, work from home, and go on those vacations. Live in that house. Drive that car. Don't be the one who's always looking at your neighbor like, damn, they're gone to Disneyland again. You can afford Disneyland because you went to TryDayTrading.com. You got the $10 30-day trial membership, and that $10 is a charitable donation. It's a tax write-off. And what they give you in that 30 days is their entire program. They hold nothing back. You get elite, high-level coaching. You get their software, their process, their algorithms, their training. And when the program is over, they fund an account for you. You start your day trading career with TryDayTrading.com's money, not your own money, and they let you keep 80% of the profit at TryDayTrading.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. One of the burning questions in college football right now is what is going on with Stanford? Is the ACC really going to add Stanford and Cal? I am here to tell you today, from my sources and the people that I speak to, that's not likely to happen. There would have to be a stunning upset. As I told you to start the show, there are 5 universities in the ACC who are a hard no. That is Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina State, and Miami. And I confirm that Miami is in that because a lot of people said, you're really stupid. The Hurricanes are a yes. No, they're a no right now. And one of the biggest questions then is, okay, if Stanford and Cal are not going to the ACC, where are they going? And it opens up this question about the AAC versus the Mountain West Conference. And we had this discussion yesterday, and we talked about Stanford's brand. And Stanford makes a lot of money on one thing that nobody else in college athletics can do. Make money on relationships. Stanford makes a lot of money on research and education-based relationships that also are gateways to sports, that are also gateways to sports revenue that they would have no access to if the remaining 4 members of the Pac-12 went to the AAC. And I know that this upsets a lot of people, but the bottom line is when we talk about relationships, let's talk about the members of the AAC. Because one of the things that I think is so fascinating about the AAC is you have your core members. You have your UABs. East Carolina is probably the best football brand in the conference. But you have your Florida Atlantics who went deep into the NCAA tournament last year. You have your Tulsas, your Wichita States. Tulane is a great university.
Right.
Great educational institution, right? The Temples, the Rices. But you also have your affiliate members. And I think this is where we got into it a little bit yesterday. Because people are like, you said Sac State's in the conference. They are for women's rowing. No, I'm not kidding. Cal State, Sacramento State, is in the conference for rowing. There is quite a bit of affiliations for the Florida Gators. Who knew that the University of Florida is in the AAC for women's lacrosse? As is James Madison. As is Old Dominion. As is Vanderbilt. But here's the problem. These affiliate relationships, as I talked about yesterday, you can't leverage them. There's not real value in that. Like Stanford's a full-time member of your conference. So they have a vested interest in making sure that you're healthy so they're healthy, because a rising tide of money and finances raises all bank accounts.
Facts.
See what I did there? Like a rising all ships.
Yeah, all ships, but you said bank accounts instead.
But when you look at Florida International, They're in for men's soccer and women's swimming and diving. That's it. So you have this conference really where your endowments are fine, right? You're fine, but you don't have massive endowments like you do at Stanford.
Yeah.
You don't have massive endowments that are going to be able to carry universities through lean times. So if you take these 4 remaining schools, which, by the way, is not going to happen, and you merge the AAC into the Pac-4.
The PAAC.
Does that make a lot of sense for Stanford, Cal, Oregon State, and Washington State?
No.
When you're going to have to go to UAB and East Carolina and Florida Atlantic and Memphis and, North Carolina, Charlotte, and...
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
North Texas and Rice, and that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Whereas, if you go to the Mountain West, you already have regional partnerships that are in place. Fresno State comes to mind. You look at somebody like Oregon State. What does Oregon State want to do business with North Texas for? Oregon State doesn't have that relationship, but would Oregon State want to do business with the lesser end of the conference, the Utah State Aggies? Well, yeah, they would, because they're similar university in size and scope. They can compete athletically. Oregon State would probably win the Mountain West in football the moment they stepped in. Now, is that a step down? Yes. Has Scott Barnes, the athletic director, who, by the way, his former university was Utah State, does Scott Barnes on the record say we are only interested in rebuilding the Pac-12? He did. But the bottom line is you have to take the avenue that's given to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State and Washington State are along for the ride. That's
the bottom line.
The bottom line. They're along for the ride. Now, do I believe that those 4 schools in the Pac are going to the Mountain West? I don't. What I think is, in some form or fashion, those Mountain West schools are going to merge with the Pac-12, remaining 4, and you're going to have a Power 5 conference, or in name a Power 5 conference. Because I also am not going to sit here and tell you that, hey, the college football playoff's going to be like, well, holy shit. You mean San Jose State won the Pac Mountain West 4-12? Well,
people Myron.
Better give them an at-large bid.
Right.
Yeah, that's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah.
The Pac remaining whatever, the Pac Mountain West, very well may come together.
Yeah, it's the Pac West.
It's not going to get an auto bid. Those days are over.
Yeah.
I think that's done.
Yeah.
And so I look at this, I don't see any avenue, and I've asked God and everybody. Well, I didn't actually ask God, but I asked a lot of people, hey, do you see an avenue for the AAC and let's just say the top half of the AAC to come in and restock the Pac-12? And the question is, who in the AAC, where's the line in the AAC? So I don't think there's any doubt Tulane, Memphis, they make some sense. But are you really telling me that Wichita State, with its $276 million endowment, makes a lot of sense for the Pac Mountain West thing? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that Wichita, Kansas is a market of note?
And that a TV deal paying a little less than $2 million a year per school is looking real attractive.
It's difficult to make this argument.
Yeah. And
when your enrollments are, hey, SMU's got an enrollment of just short of 12,000 students. It's an awfully difficult argument to make for Rice, who's got 7,100 students.
Yeah.
So, and just looking at their endowments and their student size and their alumni size, and you look at the fact that you have public versus private, and you look at, Memphis, and I think Florida Atlantic, and I think East Carolina, there's some valuable brands here. But are you telling me that Cal and Oregon State and Washington State are excited to go back and forth?
Yeah.
The money's not worth it to them, especially when they're already broke.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. I'm here for it today. I am here to throw down. Let's get some bare knuckle Pier 6 brawls going in the comments section about just how great the AAC is, because I know oh my God, you guys are idiots. Sacramento State's not in there. You said Vandy was in the AAC. No, that's not what I said.
You think you know it all.
And one guy's like, you said limited partners. That's not real. It's affiliate. Oh, my bad.
Well, sorry, dude.
My bad.
I personally would like an apology.
Hero75 says, any idea when the Big 10 and the Big 12 will drop their new schedules? I think that's going to take some time.
Yeah.
I think that's going to take some
the
time.
The AI machine needs some time, bro.
I can't wait to see who's playing who in the new larger conferences. None of that is going to happen until realignment's done. Lonnie Goodman for $5. Riley won't be at USC because he'll go to the NFL where Caleb is to be his coach. He ran from being in the SEC.
Right.
The Big Ten is more competitive. It's not. Just facts. Those are not facts.
Yeah, those are not facts, dude. The Big Ten's not more competitive.
Lincoln Riley in no way, shape, or form ran from the Big 12.
No.
He did not run from the SEC. USC is a better job than Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You want to talk about facts? Those are facts.
Yeah.
USC is a better job than Oklahoma.
And by the way, that choice wound up benefiting him even more because the path through the Big Ten to the college football playoff is an easier path than the Big 12 the SEC.
I'm just telling you now. That there is no rationale that Lincoln Riley wants to go to the, and I believe he's on the record saying he has no desire, because the guy is the king. He is an absolute rock star in college football.
I'm for real.
And he has the opportunity through NIL, the transfer portal, recruiting. Look at how much he's dominated recruiting at SC.
Yeah.
Dominated it. He's going to own a large swath of the Midwest because he's got connections there already, and the West Coast.
Yeah.
Like he's not running from the SEC. Lonnie, with all due respect.
See, you say that I hate on Lincoln. That I feel like is hating more on Lincoln.
That's certainly hating on.
Yeah, you're never going to hear me say that dude's running from a conference.
Tom Dean for $2. Sac State, all SAC, no massive endowment. Correct.
Well,
and Sac State's great. Sac State's a really good institution.
Can you
Sacramento.
measure it?
I love Sacramento. I told you guys I used to live there. Like I have good friends there. Shout out Elk Grove. Shout out Fair Oaks.
Shout out Lake Tahoe.
Shout out Tahoe. What's up? Love Tahoe. But you're just, it's going to be awfully difficult to make, well, you know, Sac State.
Guys.
Right down the road from Stanford. They could be next door.
Hey, guys.
And unless your name is Apple, they're not going to take your call.
Donnie, please.
They're not going to take your call.
Yeah.
And Lonnie, dude, save your money. Bro, save your money. I meant more competitive than the Pac-12.
Donnie, please.
Don't try to fix it now. Don't try to fix it, bro.
Donnie, you're out of your element.
Lonnie. The Pac-12 is a far superior football conference than the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Lonnie?
I mean,
I lots of love, Lonnie. I appreciate the super sticker, the tip, man.
With all due respect.
But you have better quarterbacks. You have better defenses. It is far deeper.
All due respect.
Oregon State's going to win 9-10 games this year.
With all due respect.
Washington's better than Penn State, dude.
Look at Utah. Look at the schedules. And dude, go look at Ohio State's schedule. That's a schedule written to get them into the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Then go look at any schedule in the Pac-12, and it's more. You're telling me the Big Ten is more competitive than the Pac-12,
dude. You in the Big Ten, you're talking about on the football field playing Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Minnesota.
It's not close, and just the West. Just look at the Big Ten West. Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, for crying out loud, Purdue, and Wisco. Now, Wisco's coming up. There's no doubt about that. Their Camp Randall's going to be popping again. And I think Nebraska, they're going to be popping again.
You need those two schools to be better.
So if the East is Ohio State, Michigan, and sometimes Penn State. And the West is Nebraska and Wisconsin. That's 5 teams. Here, let's talk about the Pac-12. You have USC, Utah, Washington, Oregon, Oregon State are all ranked. Okay, and then, by the way, Jed Fish at Arizona is going to be a real pain in the ass this year. I don't know what to make of UCLA. I mean, replacing DTR is going to be incredibly difficult, but they've always got offense there. Like, I'm telling you, have you looked at Utah's? Utah is the back-to-back.
UCLA or Illinois? You're going to take UCLA. Dude.
Utah's the back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Florida at Baylor. So just right there, your schedule's better than Ohio State. Weber State, okay, cupcake. That's a win. UCLA at Oregon State, Cal, at USC, Oregon, Arizona State, at Washington, at Arizona, home for Colorado.
Remind me again how that's a 10-win schedule?
Bro, that's the best schedule in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
The Big Ten is set up for Ohio State and Michigan to go to the college football
Ohio
playoff.
State, because Michigan only shows up once every couple years.
And let's see what Michigan is. They've won the game 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But with all due respect,
I love Michigan
Lonnie,
fan dying on that hill. I understand you've won the game 2 years in a row, but let's be really honest. You only show up every couple of years.
You do.
So if you win it this year, okay, then I will come off that take. But I like Ryan Day has dominated that conference for a long time, dude.
This is why the Pac-12's dead.
Yeah.
This is why because I think Lonnie believes this. And Lonnie, by these last 2 takes of yours, it tells me you're qualified to be the MLS beat writer for the AP in Minneapolis. Because that's how that dude voted last year.
Yeah.
When Utah beat USC, he ranked USC ahead, and then he did it twice.
Yeah, I wonder what the sticker shock's going to be when people realize these Pac schools are actually good. And
nobody will ever say that. No, because the Pac-12 gets zero respect. If we are truth-telling about this, while you hit the like button, all 963 of you watching, can you really make the argument to me that the Big Ten is a better conference this coming football season than the Pac-12?
What are you, nuts?
Because if you're like, oh yeah, it's a no-brainer. So then that tells me you don't watch Pac-12 football.
Yeah. Well, but again, I think that's the point, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Who does?
Nobody. That's why it's dead.
That's the issue.
Right? That's why it's dead, in my opinion. Okay, all caps writer. Everybody, are you ready? It's all caps. Get ready.
Jake and Monty.
Please predict each team's...
Do it in the Tanner voice.
Hey, guys.
Guys.
Hey, guys.
Can you please predict each
Hey, guys.
team's record, game by game, for the Pac, the
Hey,
Big
guys.
12, the 4 playoff teams, championship,
Hey,
and
guys.
game winners? I appreciate the all caps. Don't ever do it again. Salamini. When has any Pac-12 team shown up in the college football playoff and how many times?
Oregon.
But wait, so is that the measure? Because again, I'm just curious, who does Ohio State beat every year to go to the college football playoff? No, go ahead. I'm waiting. Please, go ahead.
Who does Clemson beat every year?
It's probably different than what you're thinking, though.
I'm just waiting for your answer because Ohio State doesn't fucking beat anybody.
Yeah.
The Big Ten is a joke. It is so shallow. This expansion was so incredibly necessary.
Listen to this schedule out of Ohio State this year, dude.
It's brutal.
Indiana, Youngstown State. Where the hell is Youngstown State,
That'd
dog?
be Youngstown, Ohio. Thank you.
Okay, great. Western Kentucky, Notre Dame, first real opponent. Maryland, Purdue, Penn State, second real opponent. Wisconsin, third real opponent. Rutgers, Michigan State, Minnesota, and you end the year with Michigan. So how exactly, like, what would Ohio State be in the Pac-12?
But Jake, Michigan's the best team in the Big 12. They're going to be battle tested with East Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green and then they open the conference with Rutgers. All 4 of those are at home. They don't have a road game until
Because it's garbage.
the last day of September at Nebraska. Then it's at Minnesota, home for Indiana, at Michigan State, Purdue, at Penn State, Maryland on the road, and then Ohio State.
Because it's garbage.
So take that schedule, put SC, Washington, Oregon, and UCLA in it, then we can have a conversation.
I mean,
then we can have a conversation.
Even Penn State, West Virginia, Delaware, at Illinois, Iowa, at Northwestern, UMass. On October 14th, you're playing UMass.
Bro.
Okay. At Ohio State. Okay. Indiana, at Maryland, Michigan. Okay. Rutgers, at Michigan State.
Nice.
Like I'm amazed by and you're arguing with me over a better. Come on, you guys. And
because it's garbage.
I will. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tell you every single day.
The absolute slurp job that gets done on the Big Ten every year is insane.
And I hope I'm wrong, dude. I'm serious.
But you're not.
I hope I'm wrong.
Everybody and their mom knows you're not wrong.
I hope that 31 teams in the Big Ten go to the college football playoff this year.
It's really unfair.
Like, I hope every team in the Big Ten is undefeated at the end of the season.
Right.
I hope. I'm kidding. I'm just being a jerk now. But I do. I would love to see that. I grew up in Chicago, man. I'm an Illinois football fan. Hell no, we're not.
Don't lie to me.
No. It's not. Bro, come on, man. That's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's a 3-team conference. Next year, different story. Different story. Jeff Woodworth says it's even worse in basketball. Oh.
No, we're not getting it. We don't have time for that.
We ain't got time for that. Famlore, SEC will never go to 10 conference games. Never. I disagree. I think you're going to have no choice.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
You're going to have no choice.
Yeah.
No choice. CKS. Utah, I believe, only has 2 losing seasons in the Pac-12. Been to conference championship 4 of the last 5 times. Hardly just got good the last couple of years.
You're not wrong.
Nobody wants to say it. The Pac-12 has been a competitive. Inter-conference has been unbelievably competitive.
To the point where it's self-detrimental.
How many dreams have died? Who remembers SC going to Pullman on a Friday night and dying? That happens all the time.
Yeah.
JC, will UNIMAS ever become an FBS player? Spanish TV. No idea. Could not tell you. Probably not. Renee Roca. LOL, Lincoln knew OU was going to the Big Ten. Yeah, he's not running for. Come on, you guys. Roundabout. Chicago makes sense. It does. Tom Dean, I'm just being a jerk now. Yeah, always. Not just now. Not just now. That you know. Eye patch, that was 12 years ago in the Mountain West. Utah was sub 500 in the pack for 6 years. Well, yeah, they built. Kyle Whittingham was on the verge of getting fired. But for the last 6-7 years, I mean, he's always got one of the best defenses. And do I really have to defend Kyle Whittingham in Utah? No, I don't think I have to do that.
No.
Cougar Tail. Dear Abby, I'm getting the vibe I should root for Utah over Florida since they're joining my beloved Big 12 conference, but I'm a Coug. Desperately need advice. You should root for Utah because I am thirsty. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm the 40-year-old virgin who's just like, sweetheart, come on now. Just throw me.
You got to get stroked.
Throw me a bone.
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
Do you know how thirsty I am for BYU and Utah as undefeated teams to play in the Holy War?
I think I've hit it every time.
In November?
Dude.
God, please let that happen. Let that happen. Let it. I need it.
I'm so bricked up right now.
Dude.
You want the Holy War.
Yeah.
You need the Holy War.
Hellbilly says Sunbelt greater than the Big Ten. I believe that's true. Lonnie told me it's true, so it must be true. James L. for $5. P4 plus Mountain West AAC or both goes back to last week's talk about what it takes to upgrade a G5 to a P5. How good does G5 have to be, or big public schools only? I don't think there's any way to upgrade a conference like that. Nobody has been able to answer that question. That's why I think you try to rebuild the Pac-12 with the 4 remaining schools, and you try to convince somebody that you're deserving of a spot in the college football playoff for your conference champion.
Yeah.
I think that's what you try to do. You know. T. Higgins is a badass. I don't think. Now, I could be wrong.
Okay, you're a Big Ten guy. We get it.
I could be wrong.
We get it.
I could be wrong. No, he's a Clemson fan. I don't believe T. Higgins is a badass is on your birth certificate. I don't believe that's the case. At Clemson, we're making over $40 million extra a year from the right to buy football tickets and our top
built
20
this program on NIL.
in athletic revenue in the nation. That's what you have to do.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
That's what you have to do.
We really did.
That's why I'm saying, what is Florida State like? Florida State's that dude that wants to bitch about taking the garbage out. The garbage has to go out. You know that's what you have to do. Go take the garbage out. Florida State won't do that. Florida State won't do it. I'm telling you. They just want to be the squeaky wheel.
Yeah, dude.
It makes me crazy.
Hey, we're Florida State. We should get paid more money. Why? Yeah, let me go to the back room and formulate that answer.
Dion used to play here. San Diego State Aztec Warrior for $10. What's the media value of the Pac Mountain West Conference, and is there even a media partner left in the market? CBS Sports maybe. Would the Mountain West cut bottom feeders for the merger? I don't believe that they would. There's no cutting. I think what you would see is that they would have a deal done because Gloria Nevarez has phenomenal relationships with her TV partners. And I think ESPN wants the content. I think ESPN wants to do that deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ESPN would be in that deal. Fox already has a piece of the Mountain West. CBS Sports Network has a piece of the Mountain West. It makes sense at a if the Mountain West is now at $4 million a year, at a $10 to $12 million a year deal for 3 years, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Mooncat, big equals big one goobers in ACC equals all cupcake conference. No, the ACC equals already crowned Clemson.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
You know. Remy gives us $2. Thank you. Pew, pew. What's up, Texas Tech? Last one before we announce the winner. Domer Wab.
Hey, Domer.
Who's the person injecting the sound bites? Well done. That's me. This guy.
Stay hard.
That's what I do. It's Jake. It is Jake. All right, let's take 5 minutes and announce the winner in a shocking upset. In a shocking upset, Oregon at Texas presented at Texas Tech on September 9th.
Now, we have to go through the submissions, and we need to kind of story
Let's just play the winner. Let's just play the winner because I think it's really good. I think it's really, really good. And or should
No, go ahead. Just
let a video speak for itself.
I'm the greatest professional wrestler of all time.
Notice the bucked up on the face, like that is from Salamini.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good video. I love it. I think it's phenomenal. That was awesome. Great. Salamini.
Well done.
I don't know how. how we would not give Salamini the tickets for those two. I just thought they were so creative and so well done with the bucked up on the face in the elf video.
Come on, man.
I mean, it was amazing.
He's a brilliant guy.
He is. And you know what, man? We got so many submissions, but those two were two of the best.
Pause, bro. Pause.
The hard work that Salamini put into those, I just think he's so deserving.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Of winning this contest. We have made this decision before the show. I just think he's so
Dad. Wow.
deserving of winning this contest.
Don't lie to me.
I'd like to say, what is wrong with you? I'd like to say congratulations to Salamini, but I can't because Aaron Wilson won.
I'm hearing a lot of doubts about me winning this ticket competition. Well, let me reassure you. September 9th in Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas, 6 p.m. Arizona time, Stone Cold will be representing the Monty Show in bucked up energy and watching the Texas Tech Red Raiders defeather the Oregon Ducks. And before the game, I'm going to drink 1 bucked up, 2 bucked up, 3 bucked up, 4 bucked up, and a buckshot. Oregon fans, if you're afraid of coming down here to Lubbock, Texas, then say your prayers, open up your Bible, and read Red Raider 3:16, because Tech is going to open up a Texas-sized can of whoop ass on you. Let's go.
How?
Rack 'em.
How? How? Amazing. Amazing work. Aaron Wilson, congratulations. You are the winner of the Texas Tech hosting Oregon. I mean, just so much effort, such a good script that you put in the Stone Cold. What? Is amazing. And it just so happens that Steve Austin's one of my favorite professional wrestlers as well. So congratulations to Aaron Wilson, one of our favorite listeners on the show. The guy is fantastic.
Yes.
Overlook the fact that he's a Texas Tech fan, which is fine. But, Renee did Renee do another video today?
He did not.
He did not do another. Salamini did.
Salamini did.
Renee's was really good.
Yeah.
Aaron had several that were good. We got so many submissions on this one because this was the second most requested game to Oregon. Baylor was by far the number 1 requested game.
Yeah.
Or Texas at Baylor was the number 1 requested game. This game was number 2. And now the number 3 requested game, we are giving away a week from today. It is Colorado at Utah on November 25th. Now, obviously, we have a huge Utah following on this show.
Yeah.
And Jake loves Deion Sanders' chest hair. We
That's
all
right.
understand
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
So we are giving away a week from today a pair of tickets to see Colorado at Utah on November 25th. Now, I won't be there. I will be in Hawaii.
We.
2 O's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
We will be in Hawaii on vacation. You, whoever wins, will be at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City for Colorado at Utah. And all you have to do is go to Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road or in St. George and take a picture with your food. Be creative. The BYU tickets went to somebody who spelled out the final score of BYU in Arkansas. I think it was.
Cincinnati.
The BYU-Cincinnati game, they spelled out the winner. That was our week 1, BYU's first game at home in the Big 12.
Yes.
That was really creative. It was awesome. Mike Maples was really creative with his. He wore Jordans, had on our shirt.
Had a sign.
Unbelievable stuff from Mapes. The bar is high on this one. Go to Super Chicks on Riverdale Road in Ogden or down in St. George. Show us that you were in the store. Show us your food. Be creative, and let's give these tickets away a week from today as we close out our month of giving on the Monty Show. We wanted to give you guys tickets. It has been incredible. And Aaron Wilson, what an incredible job you did.
Yes.
To win these tickets. And we ball busted you hard on this one.
Yeah.
Like all week, I think I might have said 30 times, everybody but Aaron Wilson's eligible. And he just worked harder and harder and made better videos. It was unreal to watch you work, Aaron. It is our pleasure to award you these tickets. We will electronically transfer them to you when they are given to us, by the way, which is, we have to wait for those. But it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see you there. I'll look for videos and pictures. It's awesome. Congratulations, Aaron Wilson, the winner of Oregon
Let's go, baby.
at Texas Tech. Conference Commissioner Gumby says, Aaron Wilson, stay hard.
Stay hard.
Absolutely. Let's see. Fat Jesus says, whoever pulls an American Pie scene with Super Chick sandwiches is the automatic winner. I'm not encouraging you to do that.
We cannot provide ideas.
I am not encouraging you to do that. Kurt Myers, who won the Baylor tickets?
Let me look. I don't want to say the wrong name. Hold on, let me pull that up real quick.
Oh my God, I had it right in my head. Bryce Martin.
Bryce Martin, yes.
Bryce Martin won the Baylor Texas tickets. James Knight says the Growcock, he put a Texas Tech logo.
Bro, James, what are you doing, dude?
James Knight has put a Texas Tech logo. The Growcock legacy lives on. No,
dude.
No.
Have you not, James, respectfully, dude, I'm not coming after you, but have you not been listening? We're giving away tickets here. They didn't vote him. He earned it.
Yeah, he won them.
Yeah, he earned it, bro. He made videos.
Domer Wop gives us $5 to say, wait, what? Come on. Steve Austin is the $6 million man. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Teddy Wayman. Nice. I haven't been to a college football game. I'm super excited. Let's go, Teddy. By the way, one other announcement we should make on the show today. I am super stoked to tell you guys that we are partnered with Prize Picks this year because I believe Teddy Wayman is the one who was beating me over the head with it last year.
Mm-hmm.
We are partnered with Prize Picks.
I want it.
And if you're a member of our Instagram members only group, you already know this. We are a member of Prize Picks. If you download the Prize Picks app, it is unbelievable daily fantasy. And it's super easy to use. All you're doing is picking your over-under on, like for baseball, you pick two guys over-under. And let's say it's Garrett Cole, over-under 7 strikeouts. You take the over-under, if you think he's over that or under that, and that's your pick. And if you're over, you win. And it's really fun. I love daily fantasy. We've told you guys that for months and months on the show. And it's just one of those things that so many people asked us about Prize Picks.
Yeah.
It's in the description below on YouTube. If you're on YouTube or on the audio podcast, look in the description. There's a link there to sign up using our code. The Prize Picks promo code is Monty, M-O-N-T-Y, Monty. Super easy to sign up, you guys. They have great promotions going on. Prize Picks is one of our favorite. And I think we've talked about Prize Picks for a long time on the show. They have a generous promotion schedule, including weekly promotions like Taco Tuesday, Flex Friday. Like for football season, it's amazing. And the thing that I really like about Prize Picks, it's that you're not competing against other people. It's you versus you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make good choices in daily fantasy to win, and that's what I love about it. It's safe, and it offers fast withdrawals for you guys. So basically what happens is you go on the app, you use our link, and they have like matching deposits. So like they'll match deposits up to 100%, like all these great promotions. And you play every day if you want to. We're going to do it for football season. We'll have like a Thursday, Friday, Sunday contest for you. We're going to have weekly prizes for it. So sign up now. Get the app downloaded. Use the link. It really helps our show when you guys use the link in the description below. Or if there's a promo code, it's just Monty. M-O-N-T-Y. Monty is the promo code to sign up. It is just...
It's awesome, dude.
It's
a lot of fun.
And I love that it's skill-based.
Yes.
That's what I love about it. It's skill-based fantasy games. I'm a huge fan of daily fantasy. And we've been working on this for so long.
Yes.
For so long. So get in the link, download the app, and let's rock and roll on it, because I think it's going to be amazing. Teddy says Prize Picks is awesome. Yes. Let's go. Tom Dean says fast pullouts. That's Jake.
Fast pullouts.
Fast Jakey pullout. That's his nickname.
Wow.
Teddy Wayman, 6 of 6, pays out 25 times. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm super stoked about it, you guys. It is. Prize Picks is amazing.
Yes.
It is so much fun. And the best part is, if you look at where you guys are, it's so much fun, because whether you're in Florida, Georgia, we have a ton of listeners in Chicago, Texas, Utah, like you can play Prize Picks everywhere you are.
Mm-hmm.
So hook it up. Let's rock and roll on that. We'll start week 1 of the college football season. But if you guys are on Prize Picks, let's play daily fantasy on baseball.
Yeah, let's go.
I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. Let's get rolling. Again, the link is in the description of the show below, so check that out. Let's see. David Floyd says, I'm in D.C. Knock it down, David. You can do that. Teddy Wayman, Monty, and Jake, I can't tell you how excited I am that you are teaming up with them. Been waiting for you guys to do something like this. Awesome.
Working on it, bro.
Love it, dude.
Got it done.
We're trying to grow the show in so many different ways that involves you guys, because you guys know how important you are to us. Like, without you guys, I mean, we don't have a show without you guys. So I'm thrilled for it. But Prize Picks, just get into your app store, download Prize Picks, and then click the link in the description below, or use the promo code Monty. When you download their app, it'll ask you for a promo code. When you put in an email and your promo code, MONTY Monty is your promo code.
Do it.
And Donut says, how about a shout out to the 5 new memberships I gave? Oh, wow. It doesn't tell me that. I apologize. I have to go and look. Let's see. And Donuts, over an hour ago, I apologize. Now, gifted 5 memberships. Way to go. Way to go. Way to go. And Donuts, you support the show. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're always... Dude.
Dying.
I'm telling you.
Dude, it's really tough. Like, the post-nasal drip thing, you're right. It's like 2 weeks a year, once a year, and it just is, it's tough.
It's brutal. And Donuts, appreciate you, man. And Donuts always supports the show. So, and Donuts, thank you very much, and welcome to the membership, everybody. That's awesome. Let's see. Who else? Fat Jesus. When is the OnlyFans partnership coming? Jake?
Why are you asking me? I don't know anything about that.
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
You got
to get stroked.
It's fine. Let's see. Who else? T. Higgins is a badass for $5. Florida State is that drunk uncle that no one wants around. They are more of a pain in the ass than they're worth. Totally the truth.
100%.
100%.
Hundo P.
100%. They are. It's not worth it. All right, let's switch gears real quick. I want to ask you guys about this Missouri NIL bill, because then we got to get to some NFL on Football at 50. Did you guys hear about this Missouri NIL bill? Missouri signed a law that says high school kids can make NIL money as long as they are committed to a university in that state. So if you're a high school football player and you're getting recruited to Missouri, and you commit to Missouri as a high school junior, you can start making NIL money. Oh, you went out of state. Sorry, bud. You got to wait till you're enrolled at that out-of-state university to get NIL money. Do you like this? Do you hate this? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, obviously it encourages kids to stay in state, and I think that's, great for the individual states. I've been curious when... competition's going to ramp up at the state level instead of just at the university level.
Yes, I agree.
And because I think what people are starting to understand is, hey, maybe NIL can help, my state economically. Like maybe, if we can keep these kids in state, how can that push money through our local economies, when we're in a really interesting economic time? And I think that, again, sports is the thing that brings us all together. So I think if you're a state senator, let's say, or you're someone that's working on, solutions for your individual state like Missouri, I love this. I think for the kid, it's a really interesting proposition because, you have a choice to make now in addition to the choice you were already making about what school you were going to go to. And by the way, I also think that it's an interesting proposition when you think about how hard a kid's going to work academically. Like, think about if you're in California. Like, let's say that this law took over in California. Dude, if you're in California, bro, you better be good in the classroom, man. You better be real good in the classroom, So, like, that's also something that I think you have to consider with this.
I think it's fascinating because Missouri's doing this right. And I wish Utah's a really good example of this. I think California's a really good example of this. I think if you can emphasize the importance of keeping your best talent in state.
Yeah.
And if you can tell these kids, hey, we're essentially going to spiff you, right? We are going to give you money early so that you can start making a living. I don't, where's the loss here?
Yeah.
That football or basketball in Missouri just got a hell of a lot better. And when you have states like Utah, which is just stocked full of football and basketball talent.
Yeah.
Porter Gustin winds up at USC, or, like you have all these kids that go, Frank Jackson goes to Duke. You have all these kids from California that go to Texas or go to Utah. I think you got to try and keep them in state. I love this.
Well, we all know the states that put out like top-end D1 5-star talent, right? I mean, you always hear about, all them Texas offensive linemen or those Florida wide receivers or those California quarterbacks. Like, you hear about that all the time. And so, again, this doesn't just affect the kid. It affects a lot of things through the system.
Yes.
Like, if you're, again, the infamous Lincoln Riley, right? Guy's able to recruit all over the country.
Now he's infamous?
In the comment section, he's infamous today.
Okay. He's a badass is what he is.
Okay.
I love this. For once, this is a law that doesn't reach into the pocket of the kid. This is a law that does not damage the kid. This is a law that doesn't punish the kid. It incentivizes them to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
It incentivizes them to bring tax dollars to their state.
Well, I'm a big believer in that too. Like, instead of, like with parenting, right? Instead of punishing your kid for doing the wrong thing, incentivize them for doing the right thing. So if you want a kid to do something, let's not punish them. Let's incentivize them. I think that's the smart way to go about it.
Instead of laws that say, hey, we're not going to give you health insurance unless, let's do something that says, hey, you want to make more money? We'll let you make NIL money in high school if you stay in state.
Yeah.
If not, you can't make money now. They're giving you a gateway to make more money. How important is that for single parent homes? Think about the impact this has on the kid and his family. I love it. I don't see why this is a problem.
Yeah.
I really don't. And furthermore, I wonder how will this affect if California did this? Can you imagine?
That's what I mean. Like, you look at some of these powerhouse athletic states, like, again, no shade to Missouri, but like I look at Florida, Texas, hell, Georgia, right? Like Mississippi, like, dude, like the recruiting game changes if this were to become a countrywide thing. And I'm not saying that's going to happen anytime soon. But even if Florida or any of the major recruiting grounds fall under this type of legislature, changes it forever, man.
Yes, absolutely it does. Bots in the chat.
Wow.
We haven't had bots in the chat in a long time. Got rid of those. Out of here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we have our bot thing turned up pretty high, so I appreciate it. I apologize.
Boom. Out of here.
Those got in. Jeff Woodworth. I thought that was Raider Mark. Okay. Lopes fan Gabe, a member for 7 months.
Let me pull it out for Lopes fan Gabe. Okay.
Let's go. This is dumb. What is an in-state school? What if an in-state school isn't the best fit for the kid? Let's let the kids make their money. But they can't make their money now.
Yeah.
It's I I think.
Remember, we're talking about the high school level.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is that if a high school kid wants to get out of his state, he's going to get out of his state anyway. Because I think all you're doing here is incentivizing a kid to stay home. That's all you're doing. And I don't view it as punishment. And I guess I'm open to the conversation for sure. But if you said to a kid in Lopes Van Gabe's in Arizona, let's say you said to a kid in Phoenix, hey, if you stay in at NAU or ASU or Arizona
GCU.
or GCU, you can start making NIL money now. But if you go to USC, you can't.
Think about the great basketball prospects at the high school level. Think about Bron in high school. Think about, Bronny, Bryce. Think about, Sharif O'Neal, right? Chet. Like all these different guys who are incredible athletes at the high school level in the basketball system. Okay, cool. You're going to start paying me now? All right, cool. I'll go to your school.
Yeah.
Because they can go to any school they want. That's who this is targeted at.
Yeah, I don't know. Gabe, you and I usually are in lockstep on stuff like this, but I disagree. I don't think it's. And if you want to say, hey, kids in high school can make NIL money, okay, I'm totally open to that. I'm open to that. And I don't know, frankly, I don't know that there are laws that say they can't. But I think you look at Texas, why would the state of Texas not do this? So many superstar athletes from Texas and Florida leave their states.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys in the comments section, do you like it? Do you not like it? Roundabout says, as a Florida resident, I tire of greaseballs in other states enticing kids out of state with money under the table. And I think it happens all the time.
All the time.
And there's a lot of recruiting services. There's a lot of shoe people. There's a lot the best athletes in the country, the ranked athletes. And as much as I hate the ranking systems and as much as I hate the 5-star, 3-star, 2-star, no star, like I hate that shit. But as much as I despise it, it is the system.
Yeah.
And I think you have so many people that incentivize these 5-star kids with all kinds of promises. I think the system's already in place that puts the kid in jeopardy. I think there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we want you to stay home in the state of Missouri. And if you do that, we'll let you earn more money right now.
Yeah.
I just don't see the downside in it.
Yeah.
I really don't. And let's see, Matt Riley. A state could also pass an NIL law that lets out-of-state recruits make money in their state. I just don't. And really, what Gabe's point made me think was, why do we care if a kid's getting NIL money in high school? If the local car dealer or heating and air conditioning company wants to pay a kid $1,000 a month to wear their T-shirt around school and in practice, or why do we care?
Yeah, we shouldn't, but we do.
Why do we care? Now, I don't know that they're going to make that much money, but are you telling me that Nike doesn't want to make sure that Bronny James is wearing Nike, or LeBron was going to wear Nike, or Michael was going to wear Nike? Like, I think this is a much bigger to-do in basketball, because I think there's a lot more gateway to income in earlier.
Well, and I also think that
basketball.
there's opportunities in other sports too that are non-revenue generating at the college level. I mean, look at golf, look at hockey, look at
Golf's a really interesting one.
Yeah, I mean,
man, that's a
golf,
really good point.
Yeah, I mean, golf, dude. If you're good at golf in high school, you can go anywhere you want, man.
You're going to make a ton of money if you're a good high school golfer.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. OG Gary says, congrats to my boy Aaron Wilson on the big dub. Yes, Aaron. Appreciate you. Tsunami Warning says Florida should quit enticing kids out of Georgia. Well, it's not really the way the world works. Thank you, Rav Kinda, for the $2. Appreciate you. Mike Smith, Florida and Texas has enough good players that they don't always get taken by in-state schools. Drew Brees, ring a bell. Truth? Absolutely the truth. But I think not every kid's good enough to get NIL money, too. Think about that. I think that's the question. Then move to that state. Problem solved. But good luck getting a family to pick up and move for high school NIL deals. I think it's very difficult. Tom Dean says that's fine. Florida has multiple universities that high school kids can pick from. Missouri has one school. Well, I don't even know that that's the case. I think if you are... That's an interesting question. Because does Texas need an NIL law? Well, the politics in that state would probably say they do. But I think there's such a thirst for a national NIL bill, and I think it's going to be really difficult to get.
Yep.
Because all these people that are like, well, you can't get health insurance until you graduate. Well, you're an idiot. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's just really dumb. Really, really dumb. Keaton Critchlow, I like this. Could hopefully keep some of the in-state pride rivalries intact. It absolutely could. No doubt about it. Gary Wolf. If Texas did this, maybe SMU would be good. Come on. Come on now.
Damn, bro.
Come on now. Lopes fan gave. If any 16-year-old kid can make money pulling fast food shifts, this is exactly my point.
Yeah.
Why can't kids make NIL money? It's dumb. I think it's completely dumb.
Yeah, well, I think that there's a lot of resentment from, old politicians, folks that run the NCAA. Like, there's a lot of resentment towards these kids because these kids are able to make money just so efficiently now, right? They don't need to flip burgers anymore, man. Why do you think McDonald's is going to a robotic drive-through? Because kids don't want to work at McDonald's anymore. Kids don't want to do the cheap-ass labor at the grocery store anymore, man. They're too busy YouTubing or Twitching or whatever. They're too busy getting NIL money now. So that's why I think people don't want these kids to make money, because you resent them. You are jealous of them. You wish you were them.
Do you think there's actual resentment from old rich people?
Yeah, I think so.
I think there absolutely is.
I think old rich people are like, wow, man, I'm rich now. Imagine if I had the opportunity you had when I was a kid. Well, it's like, yeah, dude. Imagine.
But should that keep me from having the opportunity you didn't have when you were a kid?
Apparently.
No, it shouldn't. And but Gabe, I think that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Matt Riley, I'm just pointing out that other states can quickly work around that. Probably. Man, you're always going to work. There's always a workaround.
But that's the essence of a law like this, right? What is the genesis of the law? What is their motivation?
What the genesis of the law is not the 5-star athlete. Anybody that works in recruiting or understands recruiting, this is the 3-star kid. This is the kid that's going to college to get a degree, not to get to the NFL.
Yeah.
That's who this helps. This doesn't, I think we all think about the Travis Hunters of the world or the Bronny Jameses of the world. I think this is much more about helping the 2-3-star kid. And I like that a lot. I think we focus too much on the elite and we don't focus on the very good. And I think it really hurts athletics.
That's capitalism.
I absolutely agree. But this bill, in my opinion, helps the 2- and 3-star kid more than it helps the 5-star kid.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Because the 5-star kid has way more options, obviously.
Way more. Like how many, I mean, look at your best football players. Look at your best quarterbacks, point guards, golfers, tennis players. They all have stacks of offer letters. They all have them. And your 5-star quarterbacks are competing are being competed by, rather, for some of the biggest colleges in the country.
Yeah.
But what about the 2-star kid that's never going to play in the NFL? That's never going to play in the NBA? That's the kid who needs to make as much money as possible. That's one of the main reasons I like this.
Yeah.
Because I think it helps the lower level kid. I do. Mike Smith, a good deal of money to be giving a high school kid or expect them to stay out of trouble, just something to consider. They might never make it to college. Yeah, but I think you have to be willing to do that.
Yeah.
I think if you were going to get in trouble, money doesn't change people. It really just exposes people. It just got exposed as a bad person.
And now the money's giving you more opportunity to be a bad person.
Yeah. Kelly Parks. What's up, Kelly? Good to see you. LOL, give me a 3-star with heart and passion for the game. Truth. Because how many 5-star kids have turned into nothing and how many 2-star kids have turned into 5-star kids? The ratings game, the recruiting game drives me crazy. It absolutely drives me crazy. But, you know, roundabout. I think every state should implement that NIL rule. Could be. Keep them home. Rebuild. some hometown pride. Let's see.
People love the hometown, under the lights, crosstown rivalry vibe.
Absolutely, they do. Olympic sport NIL deals every 4 years. Conference Commissioner Gumby. Absolutely, there is. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely, there is no doubt about that. T. Higgins is a badass for $5. Typical Florida State fan. We are the most disrespected college football team. We are the best team in the nation, and every other team is overrated. Says the athletic director at, let's see. Rav for $5. How do we sign up for the membership? Thanks. There's a join button.
Yeah.
Now, again, in the comments section, you may have more insight to this because we can't see it. But it depends on the version of iOS that you have. If there's not a join button on your mobile phone, it'll be on desktop. You click join. For $1.99, you get all your comments highlighted in red. For $9.99 a month, you get into our members-only Instagram group where Aaron Wilson will show you his amazing Steve Austin impersonations.
Yep.
It's what we do. Big bad brass bulls. Some people hate seeing others succeed. Oh, my God, how true is that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, how true is that? At what they wish they could succeed at. If they can't get it, they don't want anyone else to get it either. That is very true. I agree. All right. Hour number 3 of the Monty Show, as always, is presented by our good friends at Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road and down in St. George, where they are presenting our Colorado at Utah Thanksgiving week game.
Let's go.
A week from today, we are giving away a pair of tickets to see Colorado at Utah. You have 6 days to get to Super Chicks on Riverdale Road in Ogden or Super Chicks in St. George, and just tag us on social media. All you have to do is take a picture of your food, be creative, because creativity is always going to win.
Yeah, this time around, I want to see some vegetables worked in, maybe some sauces. Like the winner last time used French fries, and that was great. But now you've set a new standard here, right? Like, let's work in some other stuff.
And maybe, hey, listen, Super Chicks is the best crispy chicken sandwich in the business. I love it. I always tell you, get the deluxe, extra pickles, French fries, salt and pepper on the fries, and you got to get a custard shake because they are amazing.
So good.
But their sauces are all free. Like, they have a sauce table that's got honey mustard. It's got ranch. And I'm telling you, the ranch is an addiction. Pure cut Colombian cocaine. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
They deny that. I'm telling you, I don't know how it could be so addictive.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Because that ranch dressing is the best ranch dressing. But their barbecue sauce, their ketchup, everything you need, all their sauces are free. They don't charge you 25 cents per sauce, which I love. And the other thing I love is their chicken breasts are never frozen. They're always fresh. And it's never chicken thighs. Like you'll go to some of these chicken sandwich places, and they'll give you a chicken thigh. That's not a chicken sandwich, a full chicken breast. Crispy chicken sandwiches. I love them. Super Chicks is the best. All their vegetables are always chopped fresh in-house every day, including their fries. They make their custard in-house. The freshest chicken sandwich in the business is at Super Chicks on Riverdale Road in Ogden, down in the GZ St. George. Tag us in photos. Next Friday, the most creative photo is going to get a pair of tickets to see Colorado at Utah on November 25th. Right here, thanks to our friends at Super Chicks. You guys, let's talk some NFL. Because I got to tell you that Chaboy is not real happy with the Chicago Bears. So we need to talk about this whole preseason, do you play guys in the preseason thing. Justin Fields will not play for the Chicago Bears.
Right.
My aren't we? The Monsters of Midway, the Bears.
Right.
They're not going to play Justin Fields. Now, I mean, I'm not a general manager or a head coach. But was it that he was so impressive in those 3 throws behind the line of scrimmage last weekend? 3 of 3, all of them behind the line of scrimmage. Now, 2 of them went for touchdowns. I put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, MVP, give it to him all. Is that why you're not going to play him this week? Now, they say they're not going to play him against the Colts because they've been practicing against the Colts this week. We've seen everything we need to see in those practices against the Colts. That's why it's called practice, sir. It's not a game. Would you play your quarterback in the preseason? Because there's also this argument over there in Cleveland
the land.
Deshaun Watson, not playing much in the preseason. Here's a question for you. Does Washcloth ever get back to the version that he used to be, or even close to it? Is that necessary?
Yeah, it is.
It is, actually.
It is, yeah, it is.
I would agree with that. Does Deshaun Watson ever get back to the old version of himself?
I think odds are low that he does, but I do think there's a chance. I think that he just needs more time, more reps. You know, he didn't look great last year, obviously, but I think that there's some, you know, shock and awe that you go through as a quarterback when you haven't played in 2 years, essentially, and then you step right back in the middle of that thing, and you try to do the best you can do on a new team, in a new system, new head coaches, new everything, right? So for me, I find it hard to believe that he essentially went from being the best quarterback or one of the best quarterbacks in the league in 2020 to being a guy that's an absolute scrub now. I mean, I think that's tough, but do I think he's going to get back to 2020 Deshaun Watson? Probably not to that level. But I think if he can be 70% of that guy, they're going to be in good shape. He's going to be the best quarterback they've had in some time.
I don't think that Deshaun Watson needs to be 2020 Deshaun Watson. But if he's going to be a 50% passer, is he really worth all of this? And I'm not trying to be too hard on the guy, but how are you not playing him in the preseason? You have a guy in DTR behind him who I think, even in that dog ass of a game last night, which was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly the star of that game was Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 13 of 25, 164. I mean, the guy was freaking fantastic again.
And throwing blocks.
Illegal block. He was fantastic again. But are you really telling me that you believe Deshaun Watson's ready to go for the regular season and we just don't need to see him? I think this is a terrible decision by them. I think Deshaun Watson, he has a ton to prove. The problem is you give him a fully guaranteed deal.
Well, what about the concept that they're creating an insurance policy? I mean, you know, you give DTR all the reps from here, you know, the rest of the preseason, and then Deshaun is going to come in and start. DTR will be ready behind him, and they're prepared either way.
Are you creating an insurance policy or are you creating a quarterback controversy? I think you're creating a quarterback controversy.
I think you're doing both. You're doing both.
And the number 2 quarterback is always the most popular quarterback on the roster.
Right.
We all know that, right?
Yeah.
But I think if you look at him last year, completed 58% of his passes. He had a terrible year last year. In 6 games, 99 completions and 7 touchdowns, 5 picks.
But when did he get really settled in? And I think this is the conversation with Deshaun. The guy's really not comfortable until what? The 4th game? Probably, at least, at a minimum. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think that there's some mastering of the system that he's still got to complete, which is why I'm with you. He should be playing in the preseason. He should.
I just, and this is just my opinion, I personally believe that he's a guy that will never be an elite quarterback again, Deshaun Watson. And I think it was a mistake to give him a fully guaranteed deal. But
Certainly.
Now that you did, don't you have to give him every rep that you can give him? Because who cares if he gets hurt? You're paying him one way or the other, but he needs to be a better quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a difference in belief. Clearly, they believe that he's going to be fine. You know, their mindset based on their behavior and their choices is, hey, Deshaun's going to carry us this season. He's going to be the guy. It's all going to work out. But I'm with you. I don't think we know that yet. He hasn't shown that ability yet. Yes. Was he that at one time back in the day? Yes, he was. But again, the NFL is one of those sports where, especially as a quarterback, dude, it's that sport where you take 2 years off, man. Good luck coming back. It's tough, but it's in there somewhere.
Will he ever be 25 touchdowns again?
Yeah, I think he'd be 25, yeah.
If he's just 25 and 10 for them and he throws for 3,000 yards, I think they're thrilled.
Oh, well, he's the best quarterback they've had in a minute.
I mean, the 1 year out of Baker, but other than that, I think they're thrilled.
Yeah.
I think they're absolutely thrilled. Justin Fields, is he ever an MVP candidate?
No.
No, I don't think he's ever an MVP candidate.
But I do think he's going to continue to improve. I don't think we've seen his best yet. I don't. I think that he's gotten better as his time's gone on.
You don't need to sugarcoat it. Justin Fields is not going to be good. Just say it. He's not
because it's garbage.
But the thing that blows my mind is like the Panthers and Giants. Daniel Jones is playing for the Giants. He's in the lineup tonight. So how are we? Are you really telling me that the Giants are playing Daniel Jones and the Bears aren't going to play Justin Fields?
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's a philosophical thing. I agree. He should be playing.
By the way, Darren Waller going to the Giants is massive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think the Giants...
Got to have a tight end in the league now.
I think the Giants are going to be very good. But a couple other storylines I think you should watch this weekend. I think that you are really going to find out who the Jets are this weekend. Because you're not going to see Dalvin Cook. But did you guys see that Dalvin Cook said the only reason he went to the Jets was for Aaron Rodgers?
Mm-hmm.
But did you guys notice how Dalvin Cook's contract is structured? It's a per-game contract. They're incentivizing him by paying him more for every game he plays. Now, you know that Dalvin has a domestic violence situation where he and his girlfriend had an incident, and they have two different versions of it.
But no one's going to disrespect me.
He tried to get her to take $1 million payout.
Yeah.
Which was originally $800,000. She said no. He offered $1 million. She said no. Are the New York Jets expecting Dalvin Cook to take a suspension? And is that why the Dolphins wouldn't sign him?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some of that, I'm sure. I also think, injuries play a role too. But I think the reason that this contract got done the way it got done is because Dalvin needed a home, and he knew Miami wasn't going to sign him, and the Jets were interested. And Aaron Rodgers is the cover story, in my opinion. The Jets were the team that were interested in him, right? He's got injuries and suspension issues, so he's damaged goods. He's a damn good running back, but he's got issues. So if one of the few teams that's interested in you is willing to do a deal, you kind of got to do the deal they want. You got to do the deal that they want to do.
Yeah.
And notice that this has flown way under the radar.
Nobody's talking about it.
No one's talking about it. We're all focused on Aaron Rodgers and the half-assed job that Hard Knocks is able to do because they can't have access.
Has Hard Knocks been good?
No.
Hard Knocks has not been good.
No, it's not been good. I'm not watching Hard Knocks for a mentalist to come into the film room, dude. That's not why I'm watching Hard Knocks. Now, that was fun and that was cool and Buddy was good at his job. I'm not there for that. I want more access. I want more behind the scenes. I don't need to see Aaron Rodgers dapping up Buddy who voices Hard Knocks. That's not what I'm here for.
But you're in the coach's room. You're in the meeting rooms.
Yeah.
You're
but
getting a lot of...
we're not going to see guys get cut. We're not going to see, like I don't know, dude.
I think Hard Knocks has been good. We're only 2 weeks into it.
It's good. When I say it's not good, I don't mean that it's been crap. What I mean is by the Hard Knocks standard. Like
you're wondering what we haven't seen.
Yeah, what have I not seen? Because the Jets are a pain in the ass. Like when we got the Rams during COVID, that was amazing to see the process the players had to go through, to see the fact, like all these little things, all these extra things, and these little they had to wear these little things, the beeper things to track their locate. Like, dude. That's what I want to see.
I
man.
loved Dak and Zeke. I thought, but this season's been good. I think Robert Saleh dropping F-bombs all over people's amazing.
Yeah, the O-line speech was outstanding.
I think the O-line stuff has been really, really compelling. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And the first point though is Aaron Rodgers a destination quarterback? Because that's the term that people are using for him now. That these players are coming to the Jets like Dalvin Cook because they want to play with Aaron Rodgers. I don't buy that.
Yeah, I think
that's convenient for Dalvin to say that.
I agree. For Dalvin, it's convenient to say that. I think that Aaron Rodgers is a couple of things. He is a guy that will take you to the playoffs every single year. He's shown that ability. Even with bad teams, he's shown that ability, man, that he'll get you to the playoffs. So if you're a running back or you're a skill position guy and you're looking around the league like, hey, what are my opportunities? I'm sure Dalvin had some other options that he didn't even consider because he knew he could go to the Jets and he knew he could play with Aaron Rodgers. Dude, if Tom Brady calls you, let's say, back in the day when Tom was playing, you were going to take that team. You were going to go and do that. So Now the question is, okay, who are other destination quarterbacks in addition to Aaron Rodgers? Well, the same names we always talk about. If Patty Mahomes calls you and says, hey, come in on the vet minimum, we're going to a Super Bowl, you're going to do that. If Joe Burrow calls you, are you going to do that? Well, not quite yet. Not quite yet. Joe's got some more proving to do, right? I look at Sex Machine. Still got some proving to do. If you're a wide receiver, you're probably going to take that call, though, because you know what Justin Herbert's capable.
Herbert can do that. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is a destination QB. I don't. But by the way, one of the things I thought was really interesting today is that Brian Gutekunst, the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, said, hell no, we're not trading David Bakhtiari. All of a sudden, Bakhtiari is unavailable because the Jets, Aaron and the Jets wanted him. So, like, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're not trading him.
Yeah.
I think that's very interesting because I think they would have traded him. But if you're the Green Bay Packers, are you trading David Bakhtiari to the Jets?
No.
I'm not either.
Why would you do that? I mean, again, offensive linemen come at a premium, and again, it's this thing where, Zach Martin, I look at that situation and it got resolved, but it's incredible, bro. Like,
it's wild.
Like, you have Dak. You got to pay to protect him.
Yes.
That's part of the deal. If you're on a bad, like, who are the worst teams in the league? The Texans?
Texans are going to be terrible.
Dude,
Bears.
You're not paying, the Bears are not paying Zach Martin. The Texans aren't paying Zach. Like, you're not doing that. But the Cowboys, again, and this is what I always say about Jerry always wants to be like, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl.
But this is the Laker. But this is the Laker conversation. This is the Celtic conversation where people get pissed that it's always the Cowboys in the headlines, that it's always the big market teams. Well, why is Kansas City always in the headlines? Because they're always good. They're always good.
Yeah.
You always have weapons on offense because you have a really good quarterback, so you have a good offensive line. I think the best teams are always talked about, not because they're actually the best teams, because they make you believe they're the best teams.
Yeah.
And getting guys like Zach Martin done, I don't think it was ever a matter of would it get done. It was when was it going to get done. They were always going to bring him back. I think this is a make or break year for Dak Prescott. He has to have a good year. I think they're going to cut him. I don't think they're going to extend him.
Yeah.
So I think you were always going to bring him back. But it's the running back argument. They overpaid Ezekiel Elliott. Did they make that mistake 2 years in a row?
Nope.
No, they didn't. No, they did not.
Again, see, Zeke's another good example, right? Zeke's a guy that's got to prove that he's still capable of playing in this league, in my opinion. He's a guy that needs to say, okay, I need to come out and have a year, even if it's just as an end zone, short yardage type guy. He's got to come out and prove his worth. And I think in the NFL, with the Jets and Dalvin Cook has a situation and can be leveraged. If you're an NFL team, you're going to use that against him to sign him on a cheap-ass, incentive-laden deal.
And you need him.
Yeah, you do.
By the way, all this flying under the radar, Dalvin Cook's a really good running back.
Yes, he is.
In my opinion, he still has a lot of value as an every down back. I think Minnesota is going to miss him.
Yes.
But again, I think what is Minnesota's biggest question? Is Kirk Cousins a Super Bowl caliber quarterback?
Every year we ask that question.
We talk about this every single year.
Every year we get our answer.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Tom Dean says, we're down to 500 viewers. Let's get the farts up.
I love you, bro.
On, man.
I really do.
Mike Smith, Jerry is old and talks too much, but he consistently has the #1 sports franchise value in the world.
Okay, and that's the other side of the conversation, in my opinion, in the NFL, right? So this is my thing with Deshaun and the Browns. The Browns don't need Deshaun to be 2020 Deshaun.
They don't.
The Browns just need him to be good enough to go to the playoffs, be a contender, build some drama in the fan base, so people show out and sell out that stadium, and the news cycle is positive on you, and then you're going to make all kinds of money. That's all they need Deshaun to do. And that's to me, that's the sad part of the NFL, that owners look at it as, okay, I don't give a damn about winning. And that's not every owner, but there's a lot of owners in the league that I believe look at it that way. Don't care about winning. All I want to do is I want to get to the playoffs, and then I want to lose like divisional weekend, or like I don't care how far we get as long as we make the playoffs.
Why do you think they signed Deshaun?
I think they signed Deshaun because they needed reliability at the quarterback position, because they were never in any kind of danger of making the playoffs recently.
I think they signed Deshaun Watson because they wanted their fan base to feel like they were invested.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I don't believe their fan base thinks they were invested.
Mm-hmm.
Spangler, I'd take a call from Patrick, but definitely not Patty Mahomes. Is that a reference to his brother? How weird is that situation?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard not to like Patrick Mahomes, right? I think we can all agree on that.
Quarterback did him justice.
Yeah, I think it's really hard not to like. It's hard not to like Kirk Cousins, frankly.
Yeah.
But specific to Patrick Mahomes, how does a guy like that get wound up with his wife? Makes me crazy. I can't do it. I unfollowed her on Instagram because she just it's noise. And now his brother with this thing that this restaurant owner lady. Like, how does Patrick Mahomes find himself twisted up in these situations? It is bizarre to me that I really like him. He and Steph Curry, I thought that was fascinating.
Again, it's that thing you said about money earlier, right? Like, for Patrick Mahomes' brother, money exposed him because he thinks he can do whatever the hell he wants, which is why he got into that issue with that restaurant owner.
Yes.
But again, I'm just telling you what happened. The lady who owned that restaurant had to go out of business because people like Patrick Mahomes more than they like you.
Yeah, and they threatened her,
so it was really sad. And I think, Patty Mahomes, I believe, is a good dude. His brother, not so much.
Ooh, check this out. Jeff Woodworth says Zach Wilson called me, but he wanted to talk to my mom. Ah, bummer, dude.
Damn, dude.
Zach Wilson, ever a starting quarterback in the NFL again?
Not on a full-time basis. He's a career backup, in my opinion.
Okay. Teddy Wayman. Did you guys see that some Jazz fans are saying the NBA should be ashamed that they gave Utah 3 home games on Sunday this season? Now, I debated this topic.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who don't know, the Utah Jazz have historically not played home games on Sunday because the state of Utah has a very heavy LDS church population.
Mm-hmm.
And in the LDS church, they do not work on Sundays. You do not make other people work on Sundays. Like, it's just something you don't do. This year, the NBA said, well, yeah, you guys are going to work on Sundays. And people are pissed. And I've struggled with this Sunday play thing. Let's just call it Sunday play.
Yeah.
BYU's in the exact same situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think it is. I truly do not believe that it is that much of consequence. That you're telling me, because I saw some of the Twitter people are like, I won't buy season tickets this year. Yeah, you will. You will. I won't go to Sunday games. Okay, that's cool. Give them to your non-LDS friends. But this is not. This is the double-edged sword about the state of Utah. Is we don't get enough respect. Oh, we're going to play you on Sunday afternoons on national TV. No, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. We don't get enough run. Nobody cares about us. We want to play you on Sundays. No, can't do that. Like, it's just double-edged sword. Do you want run? Do you want respect? Do you want to be a good team? Do you want? Because I think the Jazz are going to be a playoff team this year.
Yeah, the Jazz are going to be better than people give them credit for.
You should play on Sundays because those are opportunities to be on national TV.
Yeah.
You need the spotlight. You need the development. No, we can't do that. But people don't respect. It's this double-edged sword. And it's what I say about BYU on 9 out of 10 things I don't think you should ever change because you should embrace the honor code. You shouldn't ban it. You should. Because there's always a conversation at Brigham Young about, well, we can't win because of the honor code. Okay, then you shouldn't win. You're a university of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You're quite literally named after an iconic figure in the LDS world, the history of the church. It's Brigham Young.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that you think it's so backwards.
Yeah.
It's so backwards.
By the way, Daniel Jones and the Giants come out, score on their first possession. Jones is out of the game.
It's exactly how it should be.
It's perfectly done.
How it should be. Matt Riley, facts. National brand stores used to close on Sundays because of that in SLC. Not sure what it's like now. No, they're open. One of the best days of the week in Utah to go to Costco? Sunday.
Yep.
Saturday? Hell no.
And specifically the first part of Sunday.
Yeah, no. Tom Dean, Saturday is the Sabbath. Check out the Old Testament. Okay. Different show. Jeremy Callahan, I bet Chick-fil-A is sure popular there. Not on Sundays. It's not load, man. OG Gary says day of Sabbath. It absolutely is. It is. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, I think there's just a certain thing in Utah where if you're, the Utah Jazz or like a major sporting organization, like these are just some of the things that you have to deal with, and you have to be willing to talk about it, and you have to be willing to converse about it. And I think that, I love that the Jazz are getting some opportunity.
It's a business.
Yeah.
And the hard part is the NBA isn't a Christian business. It isn't a Muslim business. It isn't a Jewish business. It isn't an LDS business. It's got no religion.
Yeah.
It's every day. And if you want to be part of that business, you got to play on Sundays. And this goes back to the Larry H. Miller days, the former owner in the heyday of Carl and John.
Yeah.
Well, what happens when the NBA the finals are on Sunday? You play the game. No, we can't do that. What? Okay. Yeah, you do. You're going to play on Sunday. And by the way, the building's going to be full.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Teddy Wayman, on the day, if the Sabbath, I wouldn't be resting and watching the Jazz beat up on some teams. Well, I'm not LDS, frankly, so I can't speak to what I would be doing, but I don't think it makes you a bad person. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just don't. I think it's really funny. I think it's really funny to me that people try to do that. Like, hey, you have to live on your own belief system in your own terms.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's all perspective, man. It's all perspective. Some folks will tell you it does make you a bad person. Other folks tell you it doesn't make you a bad person. Like, it just, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Teddy said, sorry, I misspelled that. I want is what I meant. Yeah. Let's watch Jazz beat up on other teams, man. I'm good with that. It's just strange to me. Jeremy Callahan, are the Jazz owned by LDS? Nope. So it's a moot point. They are.
They actually are, dude.
Ryan Smith is a BYU grad, and he is LDS.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they are. But he's also an incredible businessman. Mapes, what's up? The Millers had a good enough standing to avoid Sundays. Ryan's not that guy, and this will ease the number of back-to-backs they play.
But Mapes, don't you want Sundays, specifically afternoon games? Like, don't the Jazz, like, if we set the religion piece aside, as an organization, don't you want that? Don't you want the national viewership? Don't you want to expose your brand to, like how many people, on the East Coast, how many casual basketball fans on the East Coast know about the renovations to Delta Center or the New Jerseys or the rebrand or any of this stuff?
Called Delta Center.
Or that it's called Delta Center now. Or, like, I think there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I just think it's always a conversation in Utah.
Yeah.
Because the LDS Church has such a huge reach in this state.
Yeah, and by the way, I think Ryan Smith's been very aggressive about promoting the Jazz and really trying to grow the brand and doing these unique things. That point causing controversy in some areas. I mean, and that's just a result of the culture. It is what it is.
And by the way, doing that in a secular fashion. Ryan Smith is not doing business deals that don't include Sundays or. I mean, if you look at his Travis Scott or if you look at his NBA All-Star or I think he's an incredible businessman. I think he's the exact right owner for this. I really do. I really, really do. He is the exact right owner for this. Force Ghost Fabio, religion is more important than sports.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion, dude.
Yeah, and you're entitled to that opinion. Absolutely. Brandon Butler, Sundays sell out at the Riot when they have games. Trust me, those Jazz tickets will sell. They will. Jeremy Callahan, the owner being a member of the LDS is different than the team being owned by LDS. Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, I just think it's an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. I don't think most Utahns and most members of the LDS Church have a problem with the Jazz playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't. All right. I want to talk about this Twitter banning block buttons.
X.
Excuse me. X. Elon announced today that he is removing the block button from Twitter, and that he will only allow you to block people in your DMs, and the mute function will remain. Now, I tell you all the time, I don't block people on Twitter. I don't block people on YouTube. I mute them. I'm not here for Twitter tough guy. I'm not here for Twitter bully.
Yeah.
I'm here for business.
Yeah.
So I am not the guy who blocks people on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Is the block button necessary on Twitter? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think likes to fight guy and Twitter tough guy is very real. And I think the attack mentality that is pervasive on Twitter is a real problem. And by the way, I also think that I say by the way a lot, but I also think that Twitter taking the block function away is going to destroy the platform. This could be one of the worst business decisions Elon's ever made.
Yeah, and I think it's on the heels of one of the worst business decisions he's ever made, right? Which was changing the brand from Twitter to X. And I think that, the block function, again, is another philosophical conversation, but I tend to agree. I and I'm not as big on X or Twitter or whatever. I'm not aggressive with it, but I have to say, yeah, I mute people. There are definitely accounts that I've muted and don't really want to hear from. And I think that blocking, I think blocking has value. There's no doubt. I was looking at, it's funny, I thought it might be a useful task to go on Twitter after this got announced and say, hey, or look through and see what were people saying about this. Folks who use Twitter, what were they saying about it? And a lot of people felt like, hey, like, what about, all those people who are posting this, wild content on Twitter and X-rated stuff and stuff that's not appropriate. And whether it's that or bullying or Twitter tough, there's all kinds of reasons why you might want to block somebody. So when Elon announced this, I was like, dude, okay, I'm trying to understand the thought process. Hey, we're going to take away the block button because of what? Hey, we're going to change, at least with the brand thing, I could be like, okay, maybe Elon thinks that changing this to X will make him more money. I don't agree with that, but I don't own Twitter, right? So maybe that was a thought process with the brand thing. Or maybe the thought process was, hey, I need to put my stamp on this thing, much like GMs do in sports, right? We're going to fire the head coach and everybody else and bring in a whole new staff. Maybe that was the thought for Elon between Twitter and X. But this, I just don't understand. I don't understand why you feel the need to do this. And then on top of that, you're going to remove the block button, but you're still going to give people the ability to block accounts from DMing them. So I guess I don't understand the logic.
I think and I wonder what you guys think about this. I think Twitter has become an incredibly toxic place. I think, I mean, it's remarkable generally, people don't say horrendous things to me, but the next time somebody calls me fat on Twitter will not be the first time. The next time somebody calls me stupid but that doesn't bother me. I think people that do that and the angry folks, that's more a reflection about them than it is me.
Mm-hmm.
You getting pissed on Twitter and calling me fat is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because one, you're saying that hoping that impacts me, which says something about your character. But two, I think this is more about the stalkers, more about the dregs of Twitter, which unfortunately I think outnumber the normal people now.
Mm-hmm.
The toxicity of Twitter is why I don't generally engage with people. I might reply to people. Like I'm talking to Lonnie Goodman right now, who's all pissed that we told him to keep his money. We were talking to him earlier, and so he's like on Twitter saying that I humiliated him. Okay, that you're totally welcome to do that. But I think there is an absolute need to block people because Twitter does not enforce any kinds of terms of service. Twitter does not have a police department. Twitter does not care if you report people. It's remarkable. So I use the mute feature and I never see you again.
Mm-hmm.
The mute feature very simply is hit mute them and you never see their notifications or And again, I would really advise you, do not read your notifications.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not worth it. And
At all.
The thing this is definitely one of those topics where I was young when Twitter came out. Like I didn't.
You were very young.
I didn't use Twitter until probably 5 years ago. Like I was not around, at that capacity when Twitter was like launched and it was this huge thing. And so for you, I feel like it's a bigger deal because you can appreciate the greatness that was Twitter in the early 2010s. I mean, that's what I've always been told is like the prime golden era of Twitter. And now it's just turned into this, I guess cesspool, if we want to call it that,
yeah,
but just like this toxic place. And I would even venture to say that, Elon can't remove the block button because app stores require it if you're going to be in their app store. So like the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store say, hey, you have to allow people to block users. If you're, I believe the verbiage is, hey, if you have an app that has user generated content on it, I believe is the terminology, you have to allow users to block. So I'm just curious, Elon, if you're going to remove the block button, how's that going to work out in the App Store? You're telling me that you're willing to not have your app in app stores now? Like that doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. All right, couple of super chats I need to get to. T. Higgins says the Browns are the Lions of the AFC. Neither team has been to the Super Bowl. Both had 0-16 seasons, and both fan bases wear bags over their head. Sure. But I don't disagree with that at all. Matt Ritson for $2. Lots of college sports don't play Easter Sunday either. That's true. I don't disagree with that. Tarrant County Pete. I blocked Jake. He stole my girlfriend.
Sorry, dude. I got too invested in the Zach Wilson vibes,
Little rambunctious.
Yes.
Adam Salamini. Twitter has been toxic. Nothing new at all.
But my question is, like, does it bother you that he's trying to remove the block button? Like, is this a big deal or not really?
For me, I just don't care because I never used it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are people who need it. Harry Austin, what's up, Harry? It's about blocking the advertising tweets. It's always about the money. I don't think you're wrong.
Could very well be.
But their advertising is so far off. I think so many people. Twitter is, it's really sad what's happened to Twitter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just me. Roundabout says Twitter is massively toxic. It attracts all the people who used to get told to sit down and shut up because they were too stupid to converse with. Wow.
Okay, that's a little rough, but,
Wow.
I do agree that it encourages people to just try to roast everyone they come in contact with instead of trying to have a conversation.
But again, that's not who we are. Yeah. We don't conversate anymore. We can't have back and forths. That's just not. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Jeremy Callahan, the main blocking Elon needs to be worrying about is of the barrage of haymakers coming at him from Zuckerberg. They're never going to fight. No. They're never going to fight.
Nope.
That's just me.
It's just a distraction.
OG Gary, we need a block button for ASU fans only. Truth.
Right.
Truth. Aaron Wilson, I am my family's drunk uncle. Okay. Gregory Krug, Elon literally named one of his kids XAEAXII.
Nice.
Is that true? Okay. T. Higgins, missed my super chat. No, I read it. How did I miss your super chat? I read it, and I appreciate you super chatting. Thank you. Aaron Wilson, Two Holes needs Twitter followers. You do need Twitter followers.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but no.
But you hate Twitter.
I just don't like I don't enjoy Twitter, man. There's so many other ways to connect. Like I don't believe that it used to be that if you had like 100,000 Twitter followers, you were a badass and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And now I just don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, yeah.
You need Instagram followers.
Yeah.
We all need Instagram followers,
right?
I
have like 500 or 700 followers or whatever it is on Twitter. And honestly, guys, like I appreciate the sentiment, but find me on Instagram. It's a much more personable platform. And I hate that Zuck owns it. I'm not a Zuck guy either, but what do you do? You know, what do you do? And
Yeah.
I don't like using TikTok for privacy issues. Like, it's tough right now.
Yeah, you're not a big TikTok fan at all. Tom Dean says Jake has a girlfriend. Nah, he's single, bro. He's single. Back to front.
I think I've hit it every time.
Mike Smith, if both Apple and Google Play Store block them, Elon will change his mind. And what you're talking about is Apple and Google Play, the app stores, both say social media. I think it's social media category, the category of social media apps. You must have a block button or a block function. So we'll see what he says there. Just like he changed his mind about free speech on Twitter when they started ripping on him and people stopped advertising.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So is what it is. OG Gary says, Kelly Smith, bro, my mentions blew up with ASU fans because I said to take Oregon State over them, and it was game over for me. Well, in this digital age, I still cannot believe the president in Arizona State called streaming a digital age and a new technology.
Well, guys.
Jesus. Roundabout, removing the block button is a big nothing burger. You think? Greg Swaim says, because of Twitter, I have over 74,000 YouTube subscribers before we even begin the show. Okay, cool. Mike Maples, I use mute effectively.
Agreed.
Brickbot, Reddit is way more toxic than Twitter. Man, I don't even use Reddit.
But Reddit is the experience on Reddit is so different, dude. It's such a, like message boards. I never really went down the rabbit hole of message boards.
No, me either.
Like Reddit is that answer I get on Google sometimes when I'm Googling something random and obscure that maybe Wikipedia doesn't have.
Yeah. Force Ghost Fabio says there are still too many bots on X. I blocked several leaks. But that's the other Elon thing. He was coming in to get rid of all the bots.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Elon tried to fix a car that didn't need to be fixed, man. Twitter was fine. Yeah, they had some financial issues, no doubt. But it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine, dude.
He never wanted to own Twitter, man.
Nah.
He didn't. Timo14. The advertising on Twitter is now absolutely insane. I can't stand it. I just can't do it. It drives me crazy. Matt Ritson, Twitter can ruin jobs or lawsuited on case. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, well, I think what he's trying to say is that Twitter can be a thing where, it's like athletes who tweeted racist things when they were 14, or like, you say horrible things to people on Twitter on your burner, and then 5 years later you're some bigwig at a company and people link you to that burner. Like it's rough.
Salamini, I'm blocking you guys once I cancel my Motel 6 Lubbock reservations. Hey, man. Blame Aaron Wilson. It's his fault. OG Gary, I love Twitter. I will delete all my socials except the platform. Nah, dude.
Nah, bro.
Aaron Wilson, Twitter can be good if you keep people on your list. Tech Twitter is good. It is. Tom Dean, the Monty Show is a social media platform. It is. We're all social in the media. Mike Smith, I don't do Instagram. Oh.
Okay.
I love Instagram. I agree. OG Gary says, I need more followers. Roundabout, social media was originally a good idea, but it went to absolute trash when the dregs of humanity got involved. It should be turned back off. Man, I
what would the world do?
I sort of agree with that. Yeah. Maury Alvarez says, I follow Two Holes for sure. Drew Money, what's up, Drew? Let's go back to MySpace. Oh,
seriously.
It's Tom on MySpace, your first follower. Remember that? My social media has been far more enjoyable since the start of the Instagram group, Mike Maple says. I would agree. The Instagram group is great. Force Ghost says, X should negotiate a streaming deal with the Pac-4. Seriously. Cleveland Rocks, DTR looked much better than Mariota. Oh, my God.
Mariota, man. Dude is a career backup and fighting to be just that,
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. But again, he was that great college quarterback that I don't think anybody ever thought was going to make it.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Yeah, I you know what, man? I just find it really interesting we can't coexist face to face. That's what that whole situation's about, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last, and this is really just me as an idiot asking you what your favorite candy is. So Jake tells me the other day,
Dude.
oh, man, I want some Skittles, bro.
Bro.
So we were looking at Skittles. Do you guys know that Skittles has toxic ingredients that are not for human consumption?
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
Dude, I love Skittles so much, and they are so bad for you.
Yeah, it turns out they have really bad carcinogens in them that you should never eat Skittles. So let's just end the week talking about our favorite candies, because I think there's only one. If we're talking about like candy, not a candy bar, which we'll get to in a minute, I think Sour Peach Rings are where it's at.
Damn.
I'm a huge Sour Peach Ring guy. I don't eat much candy anymore, as you're well aware.
Yeah.
Like I
Reese's Pieces is by far my favorite candy.
But confection peanut butter messes with me.
It does, yeah. I struggle to get through a whole bag, but half a bag I'll knock down.
I think it's the Sour Peach Rings. And I'll tell you what, you guys, Bryce Young is balling right now.
Yeah.
This dude is an NFL quarterback. I mean, he is running for his life. Making plays. Sour Peach Rings is my deal. I'm not like you guys remember the burnt peanuts with the candy?
Yeah.
I love like toffee peanuts, toffee cashews. Yes. Yeah. But I don't eat that stuff maybe once a year on a road trip.
Yeah.
Sour Peach Rings 2-3 times a year. Love them. Now, you want to give me a Snickers bar? Dude, I'll eat a Snickers bar a week. I love Snickers bar. Jake will say, hey, I'm going to run to Maverick. Hey, you want anything? I'm like, dude, the usual. And what's the usual? Homie will bring me a Snickers bar. Because I love it.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
The goated movie theater thing for me is Reese's Pieces with Mike and Ike's in a bag.
Dude, Bryce Young is just taking a beating.
Yeah, that's the NFL.
The Carolina offensive line is going to get him killed, but he looks good. He's standing in the pocket, making throws, getting first downs. Like, Bryce Young's a baller, dudes. I'm telling you.
Bryce Young looking like what Kyler Murray should have been.
Or what people thought C.J. Stroud was going to be for some reason. I love my guy. But anyway, so what's your favorite candy? Jake, you get one favorite candy. What is
Reese's Pieces.
Okay. All right, let's go. Gary Wolf, Starburst.
Starburst are bomb.
Yes. Maury Alvarez, Fruity Tootsie Rolls, and Saltwater Taffy.
Damn.
Let's see. Sweet Tart Rainbow Ropes are the devil, Mike Smith says. Ritson says Snickers and Baby Ruth. Okay. I don't hate that.
Anybody here a fan of peanut butter Snickers? Because I am a big fan of the peanut butter Snickers bar.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It's really good. The only thing I don't like is that, you know how with most Snickers bars now, it's like 2 pieces inside of the package?
Yeah.
The peanut butter Snickers bar is 4. It's 4 little squares instead of a candy bar.
I say, as Aaron Wilson says, Snickers #1, and why screw with it?
Yeah.
Why screw with it? I just shouty says Sweet Tart Rope. Never had it. Mike Smith, the Reese's holiday treats, damn devils too. Oh, Reese's eggs. Yes.
If we're counting that, that's my favorite.
The white chocolate Reese's trees at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, good to go. Drew Money, Sugar Babies, the candy version. Don't know what that is. Am I terrible?
I don't know what that is.
I'm a terrible person. Roundabout, what channel is that game on? NFL Network. Tom Dean, Junior Mints. Yes, Tom. Yes. Junior Mints in the York peppermint patties.
Yorks are bomb,
my God. Bro. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Those are so good. Mike Maples, does Bucked Up Candy Cherry count? Oh, my God.
Yes.
Bucked Up Candy Cherry is... And Mapes, this is your fault. Because I'm a Bucked Up Miami guy. And it's funny, the CEO of Bucked Up was in here the other day. And I know Ryan pretty well now. Like, we have a good relationship. We were talking about it. He was saying that stuff is selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
That cherry candy flavor. And it's really good. RB says should have been a Trojan. What do condoms have to do with anything? That's not what he meant. Field Crew Dirt Doctor Cheese. I like it. Goobers with butter. Oh. There's nothing like salty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Dude, you want to give me some like Sour Patch Kids, mix it with a bucket of popcorn at the movies.
So good.
All day. All day.
Yeah.
Adam Salamini, Butterfinger. Greg Swaim says Haribo gummy bears, 3 pound. Oh, Haribo gummy bears are so good. With the white, the little Haribo candy with the white backing.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so fat. What's a millionaire? Millionaires, J. Remy. What is that? PB peanut butter Snickers is legit. Jeremy, I've never had it.
Oh, it's good, dude. It's really good.
Multiples.
Bulls.
I haven't had malt balls in.
Bulls.
Mike Chase says Baby Ruth all the way and Butterfingers. Yes.
Butterfingers are so
Almond
good.
Snickers? What's an almond Snicker or bomb?
I've seen them in the shelf, but I never had one.
Is that like Almond Joy?
I guess.
Mounds? Oh, Mounds are so good. I love coconut, though. Tanner Plummer, peanut butter Snickers is good for the most part. The aftertaste is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, a couple more, then we got to roll. Jeremy Callahan. I can't eat any of that stuff anymore, but yeah, they're the greatest. I don't eat much sugar at all. It's been, I'll tell you, it's how I've lost a lot of weight. Like, I just don't eat, because I'm not a soda drinker, though, you guys. You got to remember that. And like,
soda.
The Bucked Up that I drink 2 cans a day has 0 sugar in it.
Yeah.
So I don't really take in any added sugar. Like, I get sugar. My wife's doing this farm to table, like, fruit and vegetable boxes.
Sounds a little too healthy for me.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm for real.
Like the cantaloupe, the watermelon. She brings home these peaches that are just,
peaches are so good.
My God. Salamini. Baby Ruth is good for throwing in pools. Exactly. Caddyshack. OG Gary, Sour Patch, watermelon. Dude, stop, Gary. Gary and his damn pizza that I'm going to have this weekend. Raider Mark says Twizzlers. Shoddy says Japan Kit Kat. Kit Kat. Never had it. What about Twix?
Oh, I'm a big fan of Twix.
Where are we on the Twix?
I like Twix as a backup option.
Okay. Maury Alvarez says Mrs. Alvarez is $1,000 all day. They're good. Underrated candy bar. But so is a Hershey's milk chocolate bar.
Yes.
Underrated, dude.
The Oreo Hershey's is pretty good, too.
What about your Kisses? You're a big fan of Kisses.
Yeah, I like Kisses, too.
Hershey's Kisses.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think if we're talking about, chocolate, I love chocolate, dude. I am such a fan.
Doesn't?
Like, just straight up, a standard Hershey's Kiss, bomb, dude. Could have a bunch of them in a day.
Yep. Crystal says 3 Musketeers. Johnny says Sugar Babies, the human version.
See what he did there?
You know.
Look at me.
Field Crew says Nerd Clusters are surprisingly good. Yes, they are. Nerd Clusters are really good. Tanner says, you guys are going to kill me, but I think Baby Ruth is mid. It's okay.
I'm not a big Baby Ruth guy.
It's okay.
I'm with you.
Oh, Corey, sweet cinnamon bears, both with and without chocolate coating. My wife will not let me have them, and I think they're amazing. They're amazing. Muddy Buddies, stop it. Teddy, you're going to start this.
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys. You got to get stroked.
Stop it. There's no need for that.
I think I've hit it every time.
Wow. Mike Smith, chocolate-covered pretzels. Yes. Jeremy Callahan, the best Snickers are ice cream Snickers. Never had one. On night paydays. Yes, Aaron. Paydays are good. Gobstoppers are okay. Travis Hinton, Butterfingers all the way. Heath bars are a close second, though. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. Who's got one? Who's got one like an interesting one? San Diego State says, love me some Twix. Yes. Salamini says all of the above. Yes. Yes, it's good. You guys, incredible week on the showroom. Love every one of you. Thank you to everybody who tips us in super chats. We love you guys. Thanks to all of our members. We love you guys more. Aaron Wilson, congratulations. You're a rock star, dude. Appreciate you. Everybody in Texas, love you. Utah, love you guys. Phoenix, Arizona, blowing up on the show this week. Love you guys. Love it, love it. Let's do it again on Monday. Every day, the Monty Show is presented by The Advocates, the best injury attorneys in the business, theadvocates.com. Chat with an attorney for free, live online, right now, theadvocates.com. Until Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.